It is back to a corporate time.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Saved
You saved it.
But I didn't save it well.
That's why you're a pro.
I didn't save it well. You know, it came across the lane. I had spin on it. It looked horrible going down the lane, but when it got to the pins, it was a strike. And that's really all that counts.
Listen, if you're watching a demolition derby and there's no crashes, then you're not getting what you pay for.
Sure.
On the line with us right now, our accountant, our personal wealth manager.
Indeed.
I don't know if he even wants to
Money
say that.
Daddy.
We
If
call
I
him
remember correctly.
Money Daddy. Big Money Daddy.
Yeah.
Laying down the D-fatty. It is our friend and confidant, Bernie. How you doing, Bernie?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm doing well.
So
You sound like you had a big bagel breakfast.
How did you know I ate bagels?
Well, you know, I'm a
They
bagel.
call you Bernie Bagels.
I am a bagel fan. Tom and I were I like to try and warm up using different mind visualization tricks, and one of them is to try and guess what I thought you would have for breakfast. So I asked Tom before we got on the air what type of bagel I thought you would eat, and if you're at like an Einstein Brothers bagel or Bruegger's bagels. And I'm going to go with everything bagel, double toasted, egg, cheese, double bacon, black
man.
coffee.
Oh, that's a lot.
Black coffee.
Bernie is a giant.
Oh, man.
Hold on.
That's exactly what I would want, but, you know, I'm fixing my own, so I'm doing a cinnamon raisin bagel and peanut butter.
Whoa,
No.
whoa,
Wow,
whoa.
fancy.
Cinnamon raisin bagel with peanut butter.
Yeah,
I have a lot to say about that.
I'm not sure I should have confessed.
Well, I didn't label you. I think I didn't label you as a bit of a sweet tooth. I would not have ever labeled you as a cinnamon raisin bagel man, because a cinnamon raisin bagel is the most polarizing bagel in all of bagel land, because it's either loved or hated. It is never, you're never okay with a cinnamon raisin bagel. You either hate it.
Well, I mean, I would prefer the one that you described, but that's too much work.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because the cinnamon raisin's more like you're inching into the category of a sweet, right?
Yeah.
Like
You're gently folding butter,
like a cinnamon
and
Cinnabon.
sugar. Yeah, it is like a Cinnabon. And also, real quick, I want to point out that there is a point to us talking bagels with our financial advisor. This man did not go out and buy a new bagel. He used the bagel that he had. He invested in a cinnamon raisin bagel that he already had, and that's how you save money. OrlandoCPA.net.
So, Bernie, do you find that a lot of people, like April sneaks up on them, and then all of a sudden they're like,
yeah.
what day is it? You're like, oh, no!
Yeah.
And then because everybody knows April, whatever it is, that this tax day. And
15th.
there it
I
is,
honestly
15th.
don't know anymore, because we have Bernie and I have my wife, so I'm so far removed from taxes, I feel like the president.
I like I start a sentence with everybody knows about a date that I don't know.
Well,
that's closer
your
to
point.
yeah. Like,
Tom, truthfully, we don't know because we put Bernie in charge of it.
yeah. Bernie
Okay, well,
knows.
here's the deal.
I quit.
Sorry, Bernie.
All right, no worries. What most people don't know is that the small corporations, the due date is March 15th.
Yeah.
What?
Okay? For S corporations and
We're an S corp for sure.
Bernie.
yeah, don't worry. If you can file your return by then, or you can file an extension, there's no cost for filing an extension. So you guys are clear.
Oh, we got
right.
one. Hold on, we got one. We got one in the chat room. I was watching to see if we'd get one, and sure enough, we got Christine. Didn't know it was taxes. She's late. You're late.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Always file
All
an
right.
extension.
Well, here's something about that though. Okay. Most times that happens to people that are doing their first time and they don't really realize it. And there's a penalty if you file late the S corps.
No.
And it's pretty substantial. The longer you're late, the worse it is. It's about $120 per partner per month that it's late.
my God.
So,
That's a lot.
They're really sticking it to the
yeah,
small
I've got
businesses.
people that are a year late or a year and a half late, and they've got a $3,000 penalty coming to them, and that maybe they were starting out new and they really didn't make a lot of money, and that $3,000 is a killer. Anyway, one thing we can do is there's a one-time abatement of a penalty. So for those people that are in that situation, let's get you in here and get your taxes done, and let's get that penalty abated.
But you only get one of those.
One time.
So it's
one time
like it's
of the
like
life of the company. But,
right. So it's like when I begged the lady at Bank of America to give me one more chance on overdraft, and she did. And then you know what I did? This is a true story. This is a true story. I turned off overdraft because I was like, I can never go back. And if I don't have the money, I just can't buy it now.
You just have to keep calling until you get a new lady, and
That's
they'll do
true.
it again.
That is absolutely true.
So Bernie, with if you do forget to like pay your taxes
or even file or even
and get the penalty, is that something that stays with you forever, or can you just start a new S Corp LLC D&T
well,
media?
yeah, but
That's what I learned.
Well, I think the real answer to that, Daniel, is that you got burned the first time, and you got rescued by a kindly old CPA, right? But don't do it again.
That was Tom saying that. Tom's the bad one. I'm the bagel guy. I'm the good one. I'm the carefree bagel guy. This guy's the hard. You know, the guy that takes all your money is that guy, not this guy, not Bagel Boy.
The reason I told all that was so that some of your listeners would get a little relief that maybe they can do something. They might have got two things. They might have not known it was due.
Yeah.
But April 15th is when the personals are due normally. But of note, they moved it to May 17th this year. So there's another month. Last year they did it during the first of the COVID and moved it to July. But anyway, so we've got another month. So you don't need to procrastinate anyway, but let's get them done.
So what you're saying is now would be the time to act because we've been given this wonderful little for lack of a better term, grace period deal, and it's time to get on the stick and file your taxes no matter what.
Right.
No excuse.
Well, might as well do them, or you can file. We can file an extension, and if you do a personal extension, you've got until October. But why not get it done? And even if you don't want to file them until then, let's find out what the answer is so you can work with it.
Right.
So I had three things of note. One of them was the extension there. The second one is everybody was getting stimulus payments, but not everybody got stimulus payments. So if you didn't get a stimulus payment and you were due one, you can still get it. You can't get it by calling them up because that's not working. But you can get it by filing your tax return and informing them that you didn't get your stimulus. So they'll add that to your refund or add that to your payments for tax anyway.
And when you say things like that, Bernie, just real quick, just for the guy, because I know this question's going to come up. When you say you can notify them that you didn't receive your stimulus, obviously I'm going to guess there's an area for you to do that. You don't just take a Post-it note out and you don't write like...
No. The tax return, well, I mean, we use software to do it, so we input all the information, but there's a place to put whether you got or didn't get your stimulus.
Right.
So
there you go.
So all right. So that's number two of note. So even though you haven't got your stimulus and you're angry about it, let's get the taxes done and maybe you'll get your stimulus. All right.
I'm angry.
3. A lot of people, because of the COVID, were unemployed last year and got unemployment compensation. Now, unemployment compensation is taxable income. So even though you were getting that check, that money was taxable.
What?
A lot of people got
but I have no job, Bernie. Huh?
Well, you've got money to pay the taxes. I'm not worried about you.
No, hold on. Don't tell my business. Don't tell them.
Tommy Moneybags.
I like this new
Bernie.
I like new spicy bagel Bernie. He comes
Yeah,
in
me
and he
too.
starts flipping the show upside down. He's like,
Don't
I
him, Bernie.
don't even know your names. That was a power move.
Yeah, it was.
And then he's yelling at you, telling you
This
got
whole
no money.
You got
business-
plenty of money over there.
Get off your wallet, you big fat cat.
This whole business revolves around the listeners feeling sorry for us,
Look,
Bernie.
I thought you guys were poor because I'm poor.
Yeah, well,
That's what we thought.
Apparently, there's only one of
They
us.
thought.
There's only one of us that has tax money. He's sitting right here.
But it's
All right.
it's
well,
all in Dogecoin.
That being said, I almost forgot what we were talking about. So, unemployment compensation payments, even though it was hard to get them started, when you got them, they were taxable. However, on March 10th of this year, they changed the rule. So the unemployment money that you got last year is only taxable if it was over $10,000. So that's a big, big help for people who got unemployment last year, and that's like knocking $10,000 off your income.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Awesome.
So those are the three things of note that I had: was the extensions, the extension of time, the stimulus payments, and the unemployment.
I love it.
So, Bernie, you mentioned there's all these rules that either have changed or that are new, like new policy because obviously the pandemic and stimulus checks and PPO or PPP loans, and then all these different things that the person that tries to do their taxes themselves, they're used to the same thing every year, and now you've got all these new variables, and the chance of you screwing it up yourself because you just don't know is probably pretty high, right?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, some people are really good at it, and some people aren't.
Not our
And-
listeners, Bernie. We got this
Bernie,
one.
you're just supposed to scream that everybody is bad and that you're the best. That's
We got this one listener, Bernie. His name's Norm.
Oh, this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
He does his own taxes every year because he thinks he's a big wig.
yeah. And
Real smart guy. He's like the guy that stands in front of the judge and says, "I'll represent myself."
and then
Just a fool.
he for sure doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
And I'm guessing that the IRS isn't quick to pay you when you pay them too much. They'll probably get to you when they get to you, but or they never catch it.
Like-
you know what I'm saying? I bet you there's a ton of people that are paying too much.
You're just stumbling upon something that's very interesting. There, for years, and Bernie will probably remember this, there was an appliance company in town where their catchphrase was, "You paid too much." They would scream that in your face. They'd be like, "You pay too much," and they do kind of like that. I went real fast, and they do it like that.
That's how she sounded.
Yeah, and they would do it like that. And you know what's funny is that if you really did pay too much, I don't think they would tell you. At least it wouldn't be smart. If you went
Well,
there to
I mean, the other part of that is if you paid too much, it's too late.
That's
That's
true.
the other part. They whisper that part.
yeah.
You pay too much, and then they go, "It's too late," like that. It's really creepy. You don't need to laugh at that, Bernie. I'm still working it out.
Bernie,
Okay.
how many extensions can you file?
Good question.
Yeah.
From here to the moon.
Well, there's one per unit. So if you're a family, man and wife, you got one. If you're a single, you got one. You can have more than one if you have a business. You can do your business and yourself.
There we go. We got
That's
two.
good. That's good.
We
That's
got
good.
two.
We got two.
Yeah,
Two extensions.
Yeah.
Two is better than
Put
one.
Put those through.
But they stack on top of each other.
Yes.
They're not like
Stack them.
they'll make your extension longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, extension.
Now
I
you're
can't
talking.
believe I said that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, somebody put his Ron Jeremy wig on this morning.
Jimmy Johnson told you. He knows.
Yeah, he does. It's like after the Cowboys, I just couldn't do anything anymore.
How does that work?
Your hair looks great. If you
How does
spend
a
less
pill?
time sculpting your hair, you could get an erection. Jimmy.
what kind of goat weed isn't there?
Yeah.
So, Bernie,
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this.
Yeah, this is the
I know.
He's tired of it. He's tired of it.
The conversation, no matter where it goes, it comes back to that thing.
Oh yeah, it only comes back to that.
I feel bad because Bernie's probably this is the most stressful part of the
Yeah.
year. It's
He's like, God damn it! I went through my 3 points of note, and
also,
then they went rogue. They're going rogue.
Bernie, how crazy is it for you around this time? Is the people procrastinate, right? Like this last minute,
Of course,
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah, well, let me tell you a little story. Last year, when they put the extension on, it was the last week of March, and traditionally the busiest time for us is the last week of March and the first 2 weeks of April, and it stopped. When they did that, the day that it stopped, people started coming in for a little while.
Yeah.
This year when they did it, it's just still the same. So we're busy. So I don't know if that extension this year's got as much emphasis as the last one did, but I'm happy with it. It extends our work a little more, but our time. Then it gives us the opportunity to work with more people. So you know, if someone's afraid to come because we have too much business, it's okay. We'll take care of you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And Bernie and his team, they've been handling our taxes for. We went through this, Bernie, the other day. It's been 5 years now.
I think that's what we determined. Yeah.
Yeah. That were 5
to
years.
5.
Yeah, 5 tax years, and it's changed our business, and that's why we make so many jokes because we
We don't have to worry about this
Yes.
anymore because Bernie's got it covered.
Yes, 100%. And if you go to
Well, one thing I like though, I was thinking about doing what your previous tax people did. Your accountants. They had a pinball machine in the lobby.
Yeah, they also love cocaine.
Oh, man.
Oh, they loved it, Bernie. My God.
then all of a sudden we just get called by another guy. This is like, I'm your guy now, and we're like, what happened to the other guy?
And they're like, we can't find it. We can't track them down.
Oh.
They're on the lam.
They
They skipped
literally
town.
disappeared.
That's how we ended up with Bernie. Is our last guy skipped town.
There's a couple people in life you don't want to disappear. One is your accountant.
Yeah.
Another, I feel like, is your spouse. Like you
Yeah,
just go
yeah,
home and
yeah,
just,
yeah.
and
Because I'm
then-
sure you're getting blamed first.
I'd rather. I mean, Andrea over Maisie, right?
Yeah. But because if your spouse disappears and
Everyone's looking at you.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it
They
would
look at
technically
the-
be easier if Andrea disappeared, not Bernie.
Yes,
Because if
that's
Bernie
right.
disappears, I'm gonna have anxiety crazy. If Andrea disappears, I'll just like.
Well, you can make an argument. It'd be fun for at least a couple months until your house of cards crumbles
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's got all the codes and the passwords.
Yeah, all the
and
codes.
she's doing all the stuff.
Unless she's dead.
You know what I'm saying? Like disappeared. You know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you derailed there.
No. We're never railed. That's
Yeah.
well, our accountants were railed though, all the time.
So if they want to contact you, Bernie, easiest way, orlandocpa.net, and just call the number on your website.
Yep.
Right. So I know Bernie said
and I'll also be sure it's orlandocpa.net because somebody else has .com.
Oh, we gotta get him.
My God, who is it? Is
And,
it Louis
and
Anderson?
and I really don't know who it is, but I'd prefer them not get your endorsement.
Right. Well, we probably shouldn't have just. We'll cut that piece out.
Well, also, does it go to actual anything? Is it another accountant?
Well, we
business?
shouldn't even be talking about it, right?
Yeah, no, somebody else has that URL, and they're a CPA. So
Oh,
they're
man.
probably good.
Well,
But it's orlandocpa.net. Sometimes people get derailed and go to .com, and so they miss.
Right.
well, they can't miss you, Bernie, because I feel like a lot of accountants are not as big as you are. Yeah, I'm looking at these.
Look at these
God,
fools.
what is
Yeah,
that?
they're-
Porcupine
yeah.
lady.
Yeah, Bernie, you go to the Money Giant. That's what Bernie's new name.
Oh, man.
Go see the money giant.
yeah.
Money giant.
Sorry, Bernie.
I liked it.
Thank
All
God,
All
because
right.
I was ready to walk outside. I was like, this day's starting off on a wrong foot. Well, we love you, man. We hope to see you soon, and good luck with tax season and all the new things that they throw at you, okay?
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll
Thanks,
talk to you
Bernie.
soon. It's orlandocpa.net.
All right. Wait, we still got him.
Money giant.
I think we talked to our sponsors, and then we're relieved that they didn't
It's
quit.
the only
after.
time we talk to him. Like, a lot of listeners think that we do like these behind-the-scenes meetings.
Oh, no.
We vowed to do every meeting with every client live on the air with you guys.
Yeah, and that's how they all go. Like, not really any business goes on, or
no.
they're confused
I asked
after.
them about their bagels.
Yeah, everybody's confused after, and then
that's
it.
that's the way to keep it like
Yeah.
derailed, though. Is you have to. If we were to actually do business, then Bernie would figure out that he has no business here.
Yeah.
Right.
There is no business.
Yeah. I think they all are like, hey, was that what happened there? I guess I'll just keep going. I have no idea.
I mean, I think that was a thing. We did something there, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did a
I
thing
think-
there.
Those guys must know that's what works, right? Like, they start asking. And
Well, how did the interview go? Oh, it went great. And then he starts like telling me,
Oh, yeah,
we were
yeah.
in there. They were doing the thing. You know, the
Yeah.
bagel. Danny did the bagel thing. And then
Yeah.
Timothy, he came in with the hard hitting. And then the good cop, bad cop. And then,
Yeah. Because they're just trying to sell it
to
their
staff.
To a staff.
He's like, he's wasting our. We could have better raises if he didn't advertise with Tom and Dan. How close am I getting to the truth? though?
Then he has to justify it to them, but then he talks himself into it.
Yeah, well, everything is about justifying, right?
Yeah.
Everything in the world is just justification.
Yeah. That's the business model.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Still not a good producer, but I try. This is the second time we're taping this. It is Who's Porking. Possibly. Ready? Yeah.
Two's porking.
Yeah, but you
Did
didn't
I
even
say Two's
that.
Porking? I meant to say Who's Porking. Who's porking this week? There doesn't seem to be much out on the street. Sometimes Sam and I talk about celebrity gossip, but there's nothing happening now. What happened to the good times when Justin Timberlake was cheating on his wife while he was filming a movie? What happened to Justin Bieber when he would pee in a sink, or when he would cheat on multiple women? Now he's married. Woo! Barely got that. We love porking! Yeah!
Who's Porking? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue right there in downtown Apopka. They've got a drive-thru. You can go.
Rottweiler!
Make sure to order your Easter ham from Porky.
Oh,
Make sure you order your Easter ham.
Probably, you got to do that pretty soon.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Why do we do
I'd order
ham?
it today.
I don't know why, but I like it.
I'm a hamman. I like a ham.
Who doesn't like a smoked ham?
A lot of people.
Really?
Remind
they're
me.
wrong.
Remind me to tell you guys about resurrection eggs.
Oh my God. He's a
Dana-
rapper, right?
Daniel probably knows.
Yeah.
So this week on Who's Porking, you guys familiar with Hot Girl Summer that Megan Thee Stallion made famous a couple summers ago? Nothing really happened last year as far as trends in the summer because, COVID summer. Chet Hanks, son
Yes!
of Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, has declared 2021 summer white boy summer.
No.
Exactly.
He always does this, right? Didn't he want to
Which,
use the N-word?
Oh, yeah. He
he's-
defended himself using the N-word before in his... Because he's a rapper.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with his work. He goes on to say, I just got this feeling, man, that this summer, it's about to be a white boy summer. Take it how you want. I'm not talking about Trump NASCAR type white. I'm talking about, John B. Jack Harlow type white boy summer. Let me know what you guys can vibe with that and get ready, because I am.
It's just don't say that. And Jack Harlow's great, but why are you saying that? Like, you don't need to say that. Also,
He
your rap
thinks he's
name...
hot S, and so he's trying to declare that because he's a white boy, he wants to be the new hot trend, I think. But everyone's taking it as a racial thing,
But
which
just-
it very well could be.
But just do it.
He has a history.
If you want to be the trend, then you would just have to do it, right? Don't tell people you're the
you got to be
trend.
hot and trendy for you to be the trend.
Here's what you do. You change your rap name to Forrest Thump. Boom.
Ooh.
Forrest Thump.
Why didn't he do that?
Yep.
I'm
Following your dad's footsteps and crap all over one of the best movies ever made.
He probably just
He's dumb.
foolish.
He's an idiot, yeah.
And it doesn't seem like he intended it to be racist.
He also likes to speak in a Jamaican accent, which he also did at the Golden Globes recently.
That's a Golden Globe. What did he?
I think he was presenting an award because he also acts.
All right.
He's also an actor.
So Tom Hanks has another. Doesn't he have a?
He has like 3 children,
and he's got the.
There's Colin Hanks. Chet Hanks.
Colin
is the one no one knows.
The actor that has done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like Orange County. With Jack Black and
then Chet is the rapper son that.
But he's been in Shameless. He's been in Empire. He's been in Your Honor. He's got a lot of acting work as well.
I always feel bad.
He's more of like a hip hop guy, though, right? Like
yes,
that's what he's into.
He is, and he's also like when he's doing these, like that's what he is.
Right, that's what I mean. Like he
shows,
runs in like like there are certain guys that like you would say Johnny Knoxville. I would say like runs in the punk rock or rock and roll-y fringe, right? So Chet Hanks runs in the hip hop kind of R&B area. He was on Empire. Wow, that's quite the score, right?
So I feel bad
show.
For guys that seemingly are like great people, like a Tom Hanks. Seems like a great guy. Has had.
That's kind of what everyone's asking. Like, what happened with Chet?
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
His
so
dad made him comfortable enough to feel like he could be a great rapper, right?
Yeah. He just
can be anything you want to be in this world.
Chet is just like anybody's son that goes out and does things that may embarrass you or whatever, or you don't understand, or like chooses a path that maybe you wish he would have chose a different path, but this is his path. You probably support him, but then he says dumb things every once in a while. You get some backlash.
Yeah.
You're like, God. But it's how was Tom Hanks going to be able to raise all his sons the way he wanted to with how busy Tom Hanks probably is, right? And so
it's almost the exact same problem that Fred Neighbors or Fred Rogers, not Fred Neighbors, Fred Rogers had. Mr. Rogers, remember, like he couldn't. Some of his sons resented the fact that he was basically everybody in the. Well, you're basically everybody in the world's dad except for mine, right?
Also, there's a lottery aspect of it where you don't have a control really about who your kids are, right?
Right.
Mentally,
especially once
personality.
They're in their 30s. I mean.
Yeah. And then
trust me, I'd like a little less sassiness, but I didn't get that.
And so sometimes like you're Archie Manning and you have 3 sons. One you get the media guy or whatever, but 2 of them won the Super Bowl. Like you were in football, like you've won the offspring lottery, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because Archie Manning, like this guy was, I don't know how old he is, but like he was
30.
No, Archie Manning.
Oh, sorry,
the dad,
no.
The
sorry,
dad.
sorry.
Like
you're thinking Chet?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like he grew up in the 50s. He probably was, he was a football player. He probably wasn't around to raise his sons. You know,
he didn't layer upon layer these kids with just nothing but football knowledge.
Right.
He wasn't Tiger Woods' dad
No.
that trained his son to be the world's best golfer. Like it just happened. Basically, his sons were motivated.
Around
like
that lifestyle.
Yeah. And like 2 of his sons ended up like winning 2 Super Bowls apiece, and then his other son was successful. And then you're Tom Hanks. You have unlimited money, and then not that old Chet's not successful or happy, or Tom Hanks is even embarrassed by this, but. Then
he probably is.
You get the
especially when he was saying the N-word. I mean,
the Miley's, yeah. Or at least you're just like, goddamn, like why couldn't you have gone into another field or whatever? Like
how?
Why?
And he's 30 now too. Yeah.
Too old now.
It's
clean it up, Chester.
It would be cool if he changed his name to Chester and like ended up.
His name is Chester.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's cooler than Chet.
Yeah, I hate Chet. I gotta be honest.
Weird. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I
feel bad. There is an element of this guy's personality where I know before you, like, okay, for instance, you never want to be this guy. You never want to be the guy where the girl producer on the radio show says, so you guys familiar with Chet Hanks? And I'm like, oh no. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be that guy.
He's already got a reputation.
You're already the guy that as soon as you said his name, I'm like, well, you're not going to tell me
what do you do now?
He doesn't have a banger out. You didn't tell me that because he starred in a movie with his dad and he put on such a great acting performance that people were like, oh my God, you got the gift your dad has. Right? It was for bad stuff. Or not bad stuff, but just kind of like
controversial.
Yeah, goofy,
or
clowny.
douchebag stuff. Yeah.
All right. Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The fish might be here. You'll have to tune in on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live to watch Fish Cam, watch us do the show live, and all of those replays are put on YouTube later in the day.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. It is Weird Job Wednesday time. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. They love your face at the end on the intro. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday.
I like the...
Wait for it. Here he is. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
I like the generic images that obviously that you could use or whatever.
Oh,
and
you
then-
purchased those, yeah.
So you they get the mechanic, right, and it's like a good looking model.
He's French too. You could tell he's French.
And then-
he's European.
And then they get him in the bay, and they have the car parked above them. And,
Sacre bleu.
They never look like that.
and then they're like, do something mechanic-y. And he's like, oh, all right, I'm just gonna go and pretend like I'm jiggling this thing.
Yeah.
Like he reaches over,
Jiggle
he's like, is this secure? All right,
This
mechanic.
muffler is secure.
And then the same thing with the grocery store guy, where he's just inspecting an eggplant. Where he's like, eggplant. Let me inspect this.
Yeah,
and check. He's got a.
I think that one
clipboard.
too has a little more to it. You know, like it seems like in stock footage that these people are getting bored with their jobs and starting to have fun. And they're like, well, the eggplant emoji is very popular, so let's just hold it up and look at it like you're lusting for it. And action. And that's what they do.
So, in late night shows, which who knows why they still exist, but in the olden times,
How far olden?
like 2006.
Okay.
All right, so a little fresh.
On late night shows, they'd have guests cancel, and then they'd always have backup guests.
Yeah.
Or
Or you'd get bumped.
Yeah, bumped, but like I'm talking about like a major guest, Tom Hanks, let's say, cancels, and then you have a list of
Chet Hanks.
of
Yeah.
backups, and it's usually
Chester.
like I know with Jimmy Kimmel, like he's buddies with Corolla, so you used to just call him,
Yeah.
because it's like the people that could just come over and fill a segment, right?
Yeah, like for news, Fisher. He slides by, he gives a couple Tampa Bay stories.
So that's what happened to us today with Weird Job, and we had to pivot, and our friends that can come by on a whim are on our Twitch chat room.
Our chatters.
And so then we didn't have a Weird Job, and we were like, well, someone on Twitch can do it, and everybody started yelling out their jobs. And Ghost of Manute Bowl,
That's his chat name.
yes, who has how long you have been watching us, Ghost?
I just had my year anniversary. I started when I started working from home during the pandemic. So, yeah, right at 12 months.
Ah.
Wow, congratulations.
I feel like there's been a group of people just like you that started working from home, then they just started watching Twitch from home, and then it's been a routine of yours just to hang out and watch us. We appreciate that.
We do. We really do. Do you get notifications, or do you normally try to pop in there before the notifications pop off?
Normally, I'll load up the webpage around 10 o'clock, and then I'll get the notification. So everything's good to go around 10:30 when you guys start rolling.
Nice. I appreciate your dedication, man. Seriously.
And Ghost, just like Norm, I imagined you different in my head, and I actually imagined you as a extremely tall
Me too.
black gentleman that
Wow.
talked.
And you even talked in almost like an African style.
Manute Bowl.
Yeah, like a Manute. Yeah, you did
Yeah.
like the stereotype. So everything you would say in the chat, I would read it as if you were like,
exactly. Yeah.
tall guy. Yeah, like you
And-
would read. Like very tall man from Africa talks like this.
And
That's what I would do.
And now that I realize you're just a normal
Nerd.
white fat dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're just a
regular,
fat nerd.
Yeah, regular nerd dad. It's disappointing. So I just wanted to tell
Wow.
you that. All right, Ghost.
Glad he called in for you to insult him.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to make fun of him. Daniel said that. So, Ghost.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Man.
In the
Got me on a technicality.
in the chat room, you said you worked at a bunch of different fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell. And Taco Bell's
Now
the
hold
most.
on. He said Taco Bell / Pizza Hut. So was it a combo?
It was a triple threat connected to a gas station.
A
It was a
triple
Taco
threat.
Bell, Pizza Hut, and TCDY treats.
Yes.
Oh, I've been dying to talk to a triple threat man.
in the gas station.
Yep, right to the left of it. They were connected through like a door.
Yes, a door.
See, I know what you're talking about. That's more popular up north, right? Like
right off the highways.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, it's more
We never
rest
got
stop.
anything good.
This was in Georgia.
Occasionally we'd get one of
Georgia.
those, and there'd be something weird in there. There'd be like a blimpy,
Oh,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't even know.
Sobix.
Or it's like Hardee's
And I will
something.
tell you, just by name, Blimpy makes me happy. Like when I hear Blimpy, immediately I go, "Oh, well the bread is gonna be fluffy and billowy like a blimp." And I'm excited.
Yeah.
Look, I'm an extremely simple, stupid person. This
Yeah.
guy, I envisioned him as Manute Bull, Blimpy. Yeah, you're connecting the dots
What's
here.
the gas station? Please tell me it was an El Cheapo.
This was a Circle K.
Circle K.
Circle K.
Tell me if you guys are like this. I always feel worse, and this is only really for the subway. The subway that's in the gas station.
Yes.
When I go in the gas station and I'm doing my transaction with the gas station clerk, and I turn to my right and I see the subway employee standing there in the tiny subway in the
Yeah.
gas station, I'm like, oh man, you got the worst one of them all.
Yeah, you did.
Because I don't know why, but it seems like lesser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it seems like that if you worked in a regular standalone subway,
It's almost like
that's the highest.
It's almost like if you were in LA and you just joined the police and they're like, Ferguson, first day, South Central, get on it.
Yeah,
And you'd be
yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah, like they get-
I got the worst one.
like in my subway hierarchy, the subway that's in the airport is somehow the highest or whatever. Like I don't know, I consider that the fanciest.
and people are in a hurry in the
because-
gas station, and they're normally a little more rude.
Here's why the subway in the airport is the highest to me, because all the clientele could at least afford an airline ticket. So
pretty
then
good.
I feel like you get a better, you know what I'm saying? And then it works your way all the way down to the subway in the gas station
Yeah,
is
it's
the
bad.
worst. Because you didn't even know it's there, and I feel like the people that are buying whatever, the alcohol, the cigarettes, the tchotchkes.
You're an afterthought no matter
Yeah,
what.
you're an afterthought, and you look over there, and you're like $5 foot long. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the tuna.
Oh.
And then you're like, why?
my wife did say to pick up dinner, so
Yeah.
healthy. What do you got healthy? Give me a veggie delight.
Sorry, Ghost. Was your job like? Did you work all three of the or did you focus on
Please
one?
tell me that they made you specialize in one of the three.
No, this was actually one team worked all three restaurants. They were all in this one little area. It was all under the Taco Bell banner, so that's the uniform we used. But yeah, we would pivot between working Pizza Hut stuff and making ice cream. So whatever people ordered, just to go there and do it.
Yeah, that's even one notch lower when
Ooh,
you're
that's a lot of work.
when you have you're like, I want you to wear a Taco Bell uniform, but you also have to be a Pizza Hut guy and DC World.
You're a
And
triple
you're like,
agent.
Why'd you choose the Taco Bell one?
Well, I'd have to see all three uniforms to see which
Yeah,
one looked the best,
but-
right?
okay,
In fairness, Taco Bell's uniforms are not the worst.
No, it's all black,
Now,
right?
the ice cream one, if they make you wear that little paper hat, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing
I'm out.
that.
I go Pizza Hut coolest, and then
No.
and then
have to
TCBY
see
Taco
'em.
Bell.
What year was this, Ghost?
This was 2002. This was my very first job.
Oh, wow. All right.
So, Manu, did you, because it's a gas station fast food deal, was there a limited menu where, like, or could you order anything that we would know of on the Taco Bell menu?
Taco Bell was full menu. This is back when they just had loads and loads of things on the menu. But for Pizza Hut, it was just personal pan pizzas and breadsticks. And for TCDY treats, it was just regular soft serve ice cream with your standard toppings.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So let's talk about Taco Bell.
Was it the gray shirt?
Should be red, right?
I'm trying to remember. I believe it was a black shirt, but it had like a green and red stripe across the front.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
not that
yeah,
bad.
I remember that.
Diagonal
Yeah.
stripe.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
So, was it the person, like your normal clientele in a gas station Taco Bell trio, is the intention to get gas and then you see the Taco Bell and you're like, oh, I want some gorditas. And then you go over there. Like, how was the customer? I don't know if you've worked at other Taco Bells, but I imagine it's lower than just a normal Taco Bell customer. I mean, is that wrong?
It's about on par. Gas station clientele is kind of a lateral move towards Taco Bell patrons.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I'll take your word for it. You've been in the business.
So, when it comes to making let's say you worked at a time the gordita existed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
That's the strangest question you've ever asked on the show.
well, it's gone in and
But
out.
yeah, it's
and,
back right now, I believe.
So
or the chalupa is back now.
when you're making the gordita, I imagine like all the ingredients, you get trained to not put too much ingredients, not too little. It like they make it dummy proof. They give you
They call that the Goldilocks. You need it just right.
they give you the exact measurements of the scoop of slop and then the squirt of whatever.
It's a scoop of slop,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
squirt of whatever.
Yeah, a cup of tomatoes. Like I'm sure it's all measured out exactly because they don't want to.
But
waste,
I don't want
right?
to see it. Don't make the mistake that Subway does and put your meat in a little paper carton. Don't do that. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
see
yeah.
that. If you're going to do that, go in the back room or at least go in the patron's bathroom and dump it in there over the sink. Don't do it in front of me.
Yeah. It diminishes
It does.
the value
It
of the
does.
meat.
Because I'm like, that meat's been in that. How long has it been in the cardboard?
So is that the case, Manute?
Well, what you do and what you're trained on are two very different things.
Okay.
You kind of get lazy as things progress, and you're trying to get your drive-through time down, and you're trying to make the tacos as fast as you can. You just slop your meat substance in the tortilla, fold it up, and get out the door.
So let's go and talk about like how you ended up in this position. Was it because?
Well, it's his first job, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just saying.
It
what
sounds
else?
very difficult for a first job, though. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so
why not pick a single fast food restaurant, not a triple fast food?
Georgia, and the closest place that would employ you was this Taco Bell hybrid restaurant. It was about 30 minutes away, so it was the easiest thing to get to.
30 minutes away. Man.
And you're a teenager at this point, right?
I was a young 16-year-old lad.
So, did you have? I want to talk about the training because the corporate fast food or corporate retail training that you do is always the most ridiculous part of everything because it's like they're training like a child to do something. But, it's like all these corporations and stuff, like obviously minimum wage employees, probably meant for younger kids and things, and then they want to simplify everything so that you just fall into your conveyor belt and do things to protocol, and that's how all these franchises work.
Yeah.
It's like they have here's how the business is run. The fry guy does this. The grill guy does the fat.
Yeah, I'm on their e-learning right
Oh,
now.
man.
I got the Taco Bell e-learning on here.
So, you sat down, and was it a training video? Was it a older man that had been working, is way up in the industry and as a general manager? How did that work?
It was a little bitty office in the back of the restaurant, and they had an old, dusty TV VCR combo. And I sat in there and watched a video from looked like 1992.
And then in the video, it's like trying to rally you up in some way. There's always an element of like they want to
Be part of
When
the
you're
taco
here,
team.
your family.
yes, indoctrinate
Yeah.
you into the team, and then you're watching some actors that they spent a bunch of money filming. You know, it's like everybody is like some,
Just remember, when you
commercial
leave
work.
here, we're not your real friends. We hate you.
Did you ever have any horrible experiences like, where you watch on Facebook, the customer gets mad, they try to pull you over the register, or they, throw the register on the floor?
Oh, I love those.
A lot of breaking the register for whatever reason and making a scene. Then the cops come.
Yeah,
and
did
tase
you
the
ever have
person.
anybody yell at you while you were there?
I don't remember any specific instances, but I've got a few stories, but one of the ones that sticks out was we had a little UNICEF donation box that was attached to the drive-through window, and some teens rolled through and snatched it off and drove off with the charity money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some just standard Georgia
UNICEF
teen-
grab.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
do that all the time.
And did you ever have any people, try to come through the drive-through window, do the old fire in the hole, throw the cup? But that's the worst prank,
That
by
is
the way.
the
Like,
worst. Don't
because
do that.
You're like, my God, the person's just he's working a job, he or she, and the job is, they don't want to
Now,
be
the
there.
only
and
argument-
you're throwing your cup.
The only argument I do have to that would be if you were the manager and I'm working the drive-thru and Ghost of Manute Bull comes through my Taco Bell and he goes fire in the hole and throws a jumbo 64-ounce pink lemonade in my eyes. Will you let me go home because that's like, it
Oh,
sucks?
yeah, yeah,
Will you be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, Dennis, get out of here. I'm sorry. It's fine. Just take the rest
yeah,
of the day
because
off.
then it'd be worth it. Because
Yeah,
I'm
then I
done-
would just go home, no big deal, take a shower. I'm just a little sticky, no big deal.
So did you have any antics like that, Manute?
I had one guy overhand throw a cup of beans and rice through the window when I had the window still open, and it hit the back wall.
All right.
Oh, beans and rice, yeah.
Was it-
Pintos and
Grenade.
cheese. That's a thing.
It's
Do they?
because they have a water hose attached in the back, so you just drag the water hose out and spray the wall down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those
all.
kitchens are made to be,
Yeah.
industrially cleaned. They're made for catastrophic failure. Like those kitchens
Yeah.
are made for people to poop everywhere, so they
Yeah.
make them so you can just rinse it all down and fire everybody and start from scratch. Right? Day one, Taco Bell, grand reopening.
Are you allowed, Ghost, when you work at fast food places, to make as much for yourself? Are there like quantities of everything?
That's a great question.
that's
Like, what lunch do you get?
do you make yourself the Taco Bell or whatever lunch?
And is it
or-
lame? Do they go like you can only make yourself one soft taco, not a supreme,
Yeah.
soft taco, and you can have chips and cheese and a small. Use the water cups, not the smalls.
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they did. But like I said, when you're just a kid working there with other kids, nobody follows the rules. We just ate and made whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
And one of the fun parts about working with Taco Bell is because all of the ingredients are interchangeable. You can pretty much make whatever you want. You can just customize anything. So if you don't like something on the menu, just make some other mega burrito.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff.
Or it's just how you construct it.
Yeah. That's what I used to get so angry about when I used to eat more Taco Bell in my 20s, where I'd ask for an item and they'd be like, "That's discontinued." I'm like, if you know how to make it, all the ingredients are there. Just do.
I would be mad at you if you said that though, because I'd be like, my
Oh,
boss.
no, I never said it. I
No, but
just
I
get
would
mad.
be like,
I said it in my head.
I would be like, because to me, and I feel like you would go like this. I feel like your logic would tell you, I work for this company. They don't make that anymore. I'm making my job harder by creating this menu item, and I have to remember how to make a Mexi Melt for this douchebag.
Yeah,
you
but-
know what? It's canceled. They don't make it anymore. Easy to say that.
Well,
Next.
they discontinued the gordita one time, but they still had the chalupa, and then I was like, well, just take the crunchy shell out of the chalupa.
No.
It's the gordita at that point.
Nah, I'm not doing it.
And then that's it. You actually have to do less to give me what I want. No, they can. Anyway, so Manute, let's talk about how depressingly low your salary was.
The best part.
I imagine in was this the 90s or early 2000s? How old are you?
I was making a cool $7.15 an hour.
And what were you saving for? Because most kids at this age are, like, are you banking money for a car? Is that what you wanted, a vehicle?
There was actually a strip club up the road that didn't card anybody, so I spent all my money there.
Nah.
Oh man, this is sadder than I thought.
So $7.15 an hour after when you get home a paycheck after taxes. What does your paychecks look like? How much?
$250.
$250.
His phone line right in the beginning, Ghost, you'll have to bear with us. Right when you start talking, it's like your phone line gets embarrassed of you, and then it knocks your voice down. $250. So, and then you would get in your car and drive up to the strip club with a cool $250.
Yeah.
And what did that get you at the old? What was the name of the strip club?
At the time, it was called the Neon Cowboy.
right.
Hell yeah, it was.
Oh man, Georgia strip club. Right, yeah. Oh man,
Fresh pocket full of Taco Bell money.
$250 bucks.
Who wants to ride this chalupa?
All right, Ghost. You did well, but we obviously stretched that
it's
one.
a 2 2/4 stars.
No, don't apologize. You know, it's only so much we could ask about Taco Bell.
We tried.
Yeah. We tried.
We gave it the old Taco Bell. We didn't ask any questions about TCBY. We didn't ask any questions
Well, there's a guy who ran
about
out
Pizza Hut.
So I'm like, what do? You put the pizza in the oven.
And this is pre-Craig Robinson Pizza Hut. We lost ours in Colonial. You know, our Pizza Hut's gone. It's gone.
Oh yeah.
The one where we had the buffet?
Yeah.
Maisie screamed it. She's like, our Pizza Hut's gone. I was like, you've never been there. You've never had Pizza Hut.
What do you do now, Manute? Please say something super interesting.
Resources for a college.
Oh, what is it?
I work in human resources for the state.
Ah, that's probably more boring than Taco Bell. the human resource job is got to be
for the state.
the most. Yeah,
You're making the most boring burritos alive.
like you're working human resources for the government, and then it's like just like straight protocol following.
Yeah. But you don't have to mop poo-poo, I guess. So that's good.
Yeah.
Or do you?
Emotional poo-poo.
Yeah. Oh my God,
That's worse sometimes, yeah.
You listen to some Karen in your office bitching about some coworker that made some joke about balls, and then you're like, all right.
I went by his cubicle. He has something that Tom and Dan gave him called a magnut. It is a magnet shaped like a scrotum. I am triggered. I am incensed.
I'm not joking. That may be worse than any job I could ever think of.
Hard. Be very difficult.
Just, I mean, having to listen to people bitch about their coworkers all day long.
Is that what you have to do, Manute? Or do you have to like really put out a lot of like kind of human fires now?
I've been bouncing across human resources for about 10 years now, so I have dealt with some of that stuff, and you just develop a callus for it. You just sit there and nod your head and say, I understand, and you lay out the rules and the procedures, and then you just go from there. So you can hear some real bad sob stories, but at the end of the day, it's just part of the job. I'd say it's a notch above social work.
Yeah, this guy's like this
I
guy's a real man.
Well, I imagine
All those years at Taco Bell made you hard.
It's you just fill out the paperwork. You're like, all right, okay. How offended were you on a scale of 1 to 10? You fill out the report and you file it in their thing, and then you go on and just deal with. Oh my God.
Okay, can I tell you something that is related, unrelated? You're talking about like filling out a form, and then but then it got me thinking like doctor's office. You know when you fill out the form and they give you the little drawing of a body, and then you have to circle where your pain is and everything. It's very difficult for me not to draw boobs on the body every time I see one.
Also,
2 little pizza slices with little sausages on the end.
I don't even bother filling out any of the medication or any of the things like prior health history and stuff, because I assume they're not looking at that. And if it ever got to that point where like some of it actually mattered, they double check with me. So I just go down and just not like the fastest thing possible.
Oh, you mean like, are you allergic? Are you on any medication?
I'm not allergic to anything, but I'm
Family
on
history.
I'm on family. Yeah, like I've had cancer.
You've had cancer?
Not me. No. But
We're just now finding this out.
my family's had cancer. I don't put any of that because I'm just like, when it actually matters, they're not gonna go in and be like, "What did he put back to 3 years ago?" I'm gonna. He put it. So
I see what you're saying. It's not like they're gonna get you in there and they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute. I believe your hemorrhoids are caused by the cancer your family had." Like, he's not going to look at all
no one
that.
even looks at it.
Yeah.
It's just a formality. Anyway, sorry, Manute. We'll get you out of here. You won today.
Hooray!
Oh,
You
know, what
ruined
the
my
hell
fantasy
just
of
happened?
Ghost of Manute Bowl.
Well, why did I
he
ruin
has
it?
left a voicemail before where we
Yeah.
all made fun of his voice, which is why he was concerned about calling in. But
That's why he didn't talk very much. It's like somebody who just got braces. You know? They don't smile a lot because it's a new thing to them.
Should I get braces on my bottom teeth?
Yeah, just like Tiffany did.
not just the bottoms.
Get
you gotta
the-
do both.
Get the top
well,
and
my
the
top
bottom.
isn't that bad, but my bottoms are jaggedy, real bad.
Yeah, get them. Tiffany got them, and they look great.
But
I
don't-
got them, well, when I was in high school when you're supposed to get them.
But here's the thing: I don't care how I look.
well, then don't do it.
Then I wouldn't get them.
Why would you if you don't
But-
care?
But if I looked like you, I would get them.
Yeah, it's all real.
Does that make sense? Like, if
squished
you-
together, trashy.
But why do you care then?
I don't care.
So you do care.
Well, here's
when
why I
people's
care.
teeth are
because
squished together,
what if-
trashy, it
yeah.
makes me think that they
What-
slept with family members and that the genes got mixed up in their brains, and everybody knows that that's what pushes your teeth tightly together are the genes from two people fighting to get out of your deliverance body.
Like, what if I'm talking to a client and then this guy?
I've heard clients whisper behind your back.
they're like, look at
I
his teeth, why are they
100%
messed
heard
up?
Steve from Porky's whisper to Sam, "The bottom's all jaggy." He said that.
Because now, if that doesn't happen, I won't get it fixed. But I feel like that could happen.
I don't think they're looking at your teeth, bro.
I don't know.
I
because-
can't stop looking at him.
Yeah, because
My God.
it's you can't really.
usually
I forgot your
the-
name for a second.
the
I almost called you.
pompadour.
I almost called you a
gonna
mediocre
show
time with Teeth and Dan.
I'm gonna show
The
Twitch.
tiny shorts where you, spread
teeth-
eagle.
They're not bad.
No.
They're just.
well,
I mean,
they got smushed together.
you could
for
do
whatever
Invisalign for like a year, and so I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you could do
I'm so sorry.
Invisalign. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, how much does
If
that
you-
cost?
It's going to be
expensive.
pricey, buddy. But
what are we talking?
Here's why Invisalign wouldn't
800
work for
No
him.
one's
2300?
said anything about your teeth ever, so why are you concerned about it now?
Invisalign will not
I
work
just-
for him
I
because
see
he
him.
will lose his Invisalign. You need the permanent ones that you can't lose.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get the old metal, the Black and Decker Pecker Wrecker. You're gonna have to do the old. Thank you, Butler.
Oh, I only need it on the bottom.
Do you want to get braces together?
Wait a minute, you guys get braces?
Yeah.
There? That human
Team
centipede
braces.
stuff? Oh,
Well,
You know, the whole 30 club,
You
while
get-
we're still young in
you
our
need
30s.
braces too?
Yeah.
No, you guys are crazy. Both of you guys don't have bad teeth. Let me see
No.
your teeth. Your teeth are fine.
yeah.
Let me see
so
your
man-
teeth.
but-
Mine are crooked on top.
Okay, I see the bottom. I can make an argument, but it's only one. You pull that one, you straighten the others. And
well,
you're good.
can I do that? Can I
Yes,
just pull that on the?
absolutely. You can do. That's what I did. I had too many adult teeth, so they yanked them and then they straightened them. No, sorry, my teeth see how straight they are. Look how straight.
Yeah.
That's all artificial. Mine were my teeth were 5 times worse than your bottom teeth. All to the side, going up, down. I had those weirdo teeth that like hills have eyes.
Yeah.
Like sticking all over, and then they just pulled the extra ones, and then they slapped that thing on there, and I had to do all the
Let's
rubber
do it,
bands.
bro. We'll look younger.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it, but the only reason would be for
Would you get it for your sons?
business?
Would you if your
Yeah,
son
yeah.
like because I didn't?
I'll do anything for
Hey,
them.
you know it's funny.
You're no real man if you have adult braces, though.
Should we
I
pause
know.
and re-continue this conversation because I have a
Yeah.
lot of questions now? Can we do that? Do we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
another segment? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll pause. We'll come back and talk braces. Maybe we could talk to Tiffany.
Yeah.
She's got braces.
I
now.
thought she had perfect teeth. I never noticed.
I never
nothing.
noticed anything with
Yeah,
her teeth
Now
either.
you
but
realize what I'm doing to both of you guys after you said you needed braces. My wife got braces. Do you think my wife needed braces?
no.
She had them for 2 years.
Yeah,
Full
no.
braces.
Full
or
bra-
did she have the
She had the
Invisaligns?
Invisaligns.
That's different.
But she's also super responsible.
Well,
Butler, get in here. You're not doing that anymore. Never again. No more sneezing on the air.
We're not allowed to do that.
Fish tank shot. No, I just wanted to see what Thomas would do. I want to do fish tank shots.
so why did Tiffany even get the bracelets?
Well, maybe we can talk
teeth
to her.
look perfect. Like
Maybe her dentist suggested it.
well, then that's just a money grab, right?
Could
like
be.
they, the dentist sees you're rich, and like it's
she
like,
got
hey,
the-
you
and
should
she
get
got
these
the real
braces.
wheels.
$3,800.
She got the real, like,
Yeah.
I do think Invisalign are not going to work as well. This is just, I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is just what I feel.
Let's get a BDM dentist so we can grift braces.
The real cemented in metal braces
Yeah.
with the wires and that's what I had, and it works perfectly. I've seen some people that have had Invisalign, but
Right.
it's not the same.
No.
You're putting like this little plastic cup on your teeth that like gently shapes your mouth, whereas mine, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like real braces hurt.
Yeah.
I was in pain.
Moving
Do you know how long I had braces for in high school? Longer than high school.
Really?
Yes, I had it for like 3. Well, not the entire thing. Almost 3 years. That's a long ass time to have braces.
Oh man, braces, marching band, your height issues.
I know. It's completely unfortunate.
Now I see what happens.
Butt cut.
Oh, I know. You get bullied enough, you'd be crazy. It's amazing I'm still alive.
All right, let's take a break.
No, well, I was just going to power through.
at this point we got- yeah.
No, I had a Tom moment where I'm like, well, why do we need to take a break? We'll just cut it.
Yeah, we'll slice it in half.
But I do want to talk about braces for a second because I never chose to have braces. I just realized this. It wasn't like my parents ever came to me and said, do you want braces? They did not.
Yeah, they just.
I just got braces.
Yeah. Around that age, you just you're like your kids got jacked up teeth, and you're like, it's my responsibility as a parent to
My dad was not.
fix
I
this
remember my dad bitching about it.
humans' teeth.
Not in the way that he's like, I'm not paying for my son's braces. It was more along the lines, I can remember my dad. I went to the orthodontist in DeLand named Dr. Steen. He was awesome. And he was like the cool orthodontist that all the kids at the high school liked. And he worked that angle. You know, like he was cool. Like he was like a young guy.
That's what
but
nerds say.
No, he would buy the.
No one's a cool orthodontist.
Okay, fine.
Now, there's not one of them.
You're right. But I'm
no
just
one in
saying,
high school thinks they're cool.
Okay, so the nerds, all of us nerds thought he was the cool orthodontist because he would buy the page in the yearbook and you'd hold the jumbo toothbrush. He was that guy.
Did he drive a Harley?
No, I think he had a convertible though, BMW.
Oh,
I do
okay.
think he had a cool car. You know, like he was like a cool guy. He was like, I would say he was like the Michael J. Fox of orthodontists. You know?
Is Michael J. Fox considered cool? Like even back in the
Family
day?
Ties before he got the shakies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm
He's still cool now.
Teen
but-
Wolf.
Yeah, Teen
Back
Wolf,
to the
very
Future.
cool. Back to the Future, very cool.
you grow kind of like
Alex P. Keaton, pretty cool, conservative cool,
Yeah.
but cool.
Reagan
cool.
nerdy cool. So what is a Invisalign bottoms only? What am I talking about?
No one's ever said that, by the way. Bottoms only,
like
yuck.
1,200, 4,000. Like
I'm
what
gonna
is
say
it?
my wife paid 3.
3,000. Okay. And is that all said and done? Like it's like $3,000, and then your teeth will be straight.
How's your dental insurance?
I don't know. No idea. But it damn sure doesn't cover any of that. None of my insurance
And you
covers
can
anything.
pay monthly. You can do payments.
No. I'll pay all at once. Cash.
You should talk to Andrea about this. Like, she did it.
If
but
you offer a dentist cash, they'll cut you a deal, right?
I think so.
Even
I don't know. Never
I think
tried.
I think they can.
Well, they don't have to report it. Like they could just go make the Invisalign in the back room, and then
the Invisalign website says their treatment costs anywhere between $3,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, I think she was right at 3. But sure was
But
like
that's without insurance.
like I said, I'll say this before she gets on the line. I didn't see it. Does that make sense? Like she was like, I really want to do this for myself, and it's going to give me more confidence.
I think that's kind of what Tiffany said too, but she
Right.
went the full braces.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I would have been more pro with my wife because to me, I think she paid money for something that
Didn't
I
do
can't-
anything?
No, I don't want to say that because if I
Right.
say that, then she's like, you're an a-hole. No, I cannot see what it did, but I'm happy that she's happy about it.
no, yeah, that's what I say all the time when I know.
Do you know how hard that is for me to do? That's
Yeah,
that should be Andrea. I'll grab it. What
Yeah.
line?
Line 1.
Hey, babe.
Yo.
Okay, so Invisalign. Tom is thinking about going Invisalign bottoms only.
Yeah.
So what you want to give him some help here?
What's that gonna cost? Can I buy your old one?
Yeah, that's a
and
good
then
idea.
Get
Oh my god.
We'll just
No,
rinse it
you
out.
cannot.
I could.
But there's now like companies that you can do it like online. You do it like yourself, and it's supposed to be like.
He doesn't want to do online. He wants to do cash only.
Yeah, you make your own mold.
Yeah. And then what?
He can't be trusted to make
No,
his own mold.
But
Yeah, I'm with you.
hold
Come
on.
back with a rubber D
thought-
because he got distracted.
I thought the whole point, like with the braces, I understand every single tooth is being pulled apart by these bands. Like I understand the engineering of that, but with the Invisalign, if it's just one mouthpiece or whatever, you
It's
clip.
not.
Okay.
Not one. See, it is. You have little dots on your teeth, like on your canines, like the top and bottom.
They're like little
and
cement
you
dots.
Yeah, I have like 10 trays. So like every 2 weeks, I changed my tray. And so that's over time, it knows like your teeth. It's moving your teeth. So like when you put in the new tray, it hurts like that first day, but then your teeth, are slowly moving into place. So I did it. I only had to do it a year. My teeth weren't too bad. But an orthodontist will tell you if you are a candidate for Invisalign or not. Not everybody is a candidate for Invisalign. It really depends on like the severity of your teeth. So
Yeah, I think you got to get full braces,
Oh,
Tom. Me and
You
you.
gotta get the wires.
Your teeth are too
Bird on a
messed
wire.
up.
Yeah, I got some real bad juggalos going on.
No. First of all, they're not black. You're not missing any teeth. They're crowded, dude.
Well,
Everybody
yeah,
has
that's what I
them.
meant. Yeah.
and that might in TC with crowded teeth, you might have to like go real braces because you have to get a spacer and
Yeah.
space
Oh, God.
make room for all those teeth. So it might be
I'm out.
a little different.
I'm out
you
already.
talked him out of it.
Yeah. This is
Did
too
you
much.
guys call Tiffany? Did you?
No.
She got real braces.
I know.
Yeah, but her teeth were perfect. That's what we didn't understand why she got braces.
So was Andrea's. I didn't see Andrea. I was telling them that you wanted to do Invisalign for you. I really didn't, to put it nicely, have very much to say about it. Correct? I was supportive, but it's your thing.
Right. Yeah. But I felt like some teeth were moving, and so that's why I was like a good candidate for Invisalign because it wasn't terribly severe and it was just easy, just putting them kind of back into.
I'm having a moment. You are really awesome. You're a
How
wonderful
would you-
woman.
You felt like they were moving? Like you noticed? I guess.
No. Like I had a front tooth that was like I felt like over time was being crowded out by my bottom
Her
teeth.
front tooth used to hang. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It was
yeah.
weird.
You
It was
yeah,
weird. I
yeah.
used to play the clown game.
As for cost, I had really good insurance and orthodontia insurance, and so it basically paid for it.
Whoa, don't you insurance.
Yeah. I don't got any of that.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the old Sleepy Joe Program 1.
Yeah. 2 sniffs.
What can he
and-
get for 1 sniff of a Joe Obama plan?
full price. More than full price. I have to pay more. Like they said, if you told me you didn't have insurance, I'd charge you less. That's what I got.
Use the CVS Cares card.
Andrea,
Yes.
Oh, man, she's mad.
I need you to sign
No, I'm
me up
not mad.
Oh, okay.
because I don't know how to do it.
Sign him up for Invisalign and do
No,
his molds.
Sign me up for the vaccine.
Oh my
You're
God.
not old enough.
I don't know how. Next, what is it? The
Next
fifth?
Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next month. Can you
On Monday, we're really open, baby.
can you sign me up and text me and then
You gonna pay her to start being your assistant, or?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will pay you. What do you want?
I just want you to get vaccinated. So
All right.
Again,
Okay.
Too good of a
Well,
person.
no, go for something. I mean, give her. He's offering something.
But what about your wife? Why can't your wife do it? Does she not?
She'll start
He's
growing.
kind of
I explained this again. There's a computer chip involved. You know,
something about Bill Gates.
there's a cumin.
Yeah, there's a cumin. He sent me something happened.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was a spice, but no,
And
it's
she
bad,
would be
bad.
here right now, but she's storming something.
Yeah, feet up on my desk, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And I don't. She don't do nothing for
Wow.
Why would you say
me.
that?
Don't say that.
Why would you say
I
that?
say I'm like do the thing, and she's like do it yourself, you lazy POS.
It's not wrong.
then I'm like I can't. And then I ask you.
God.
Um,
Maisie
But is
made
she gonna be
mine.
mad if you get vaccinated before her?
I don't ask her any questions.
Wait, you guys are every man for yourself. Family
just do
man.
whatever. You should see how much Bitcoin I bought this week. I didn't ask nobody.
I love that the whole Van family is every man for himself with vaccines. It's like, get
Max,
it if you get it. I love you, babe.
I love you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't hire
No, she
her
thinks
as your
I'm
assistant, dude.
Dude, she
Are
is
you
the-
insane?
I see how she the good of a dog she does with you.
No,
I see
it's
it.
only good
But-
until it turns bad.
I well, no, she,
You don't see the bad.
Yeah, well, I don't have to deal with the bad. I just deal with the good.
Oh, but I'll deal with the bad, and the bad trickles down
But
fast.
he's only gonna pay for the good, no bad.
Yeah. I'm just it's just a job. Like she is the I think world's best assistant. like she can handle your affairs all very efficiently and
organized.
organized.
You don't want any of
Dude,
that.
how organized?
She cries all the time.
Yeah, but I don't have to deal with that. That's
I'll be
ours.
dealing with that.
Well, I don't care. I would care about myself. I thought you knew that. You idiot. We're still going.
No, we're done.
I mean, we're done.
It's time. It really is. Let's do one voicemail
Okay.
just out of spite. Okay, I can find one here quickly. This one is red hot. I'm just going to go with this one because it came in. Kermit's pissed.
Hey, what's up, Tom and Dan, Samantha Butler? Just listened to the podcast with the guy that shot his toe off for $5,000. What were his medical bills after all that? Can only imagine that he may have broke even at best. I don't know.
Yeah,
A lot of people asked this in
Yeah.
the chat. He didn't pay the medical bills. He
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
the hospital and he didn't pay the bill.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
I think true poor people don't realize the free go to the emergency room, never pay the bill.
Yeah.
I lived that lifestyle for years, and I didn't have an insurance. I was too poor. I had nothing.
Yeah.
So I was like, it didn't matter. I'll just go to the emergency room. They'll fix whatever problem I have, and then they'll send me bills for 30,000. Who cares what if the number could say $10 trillion or $1? I'm not paying anything.
Yeah.
And then eventually,
It drops off.
just like all my problems, they'll fade away like ghosts. You know, some will come back to get you when they get the judgment or whatever. But for the rest of it, just fades
Yeah.
away. That's how you
Most
live.
people I know had something like that. I had one, maybe one or two of something like that eventually would fade away. But based on the number of voicemails that we got yesterday, and they were all about the BDM show. If you haven't listened to that, you can go to tomanddan.com and sign up, become a member, and check that out. But yeah, everybody, what it led me to believe is that our listeners are mostly bill payers.
Yeah,
There were a
yeah.
lot of perplexed people emailing me and voicemailing me saying, what did this guy do with his medical bills? The easiest
Yeah.
answer is right in front of your nose. Of course he didn't pay it.
I used to scream about medical bills. I didn't understand that, of course, now things have changed. Like, medical bills only matter if you have money, because then it's like, oh, God, that's a lot of money to pay out of my money I already have. If you have nothing, then it's a joke. If they just send you a bill for whatever.
Yeah, they're not going to throw you in jail.
No, and also it used to not go against your credit report, medical bills, or at least be counted less. You know, like
Do
they
you
can't-
remember when you realized that?
Oh, every one of my friends told me Miami.
Yeah.
It's Miami. I grew
Yeah.
up
You
in
just
Miami.
vetoed.
I was.
I do
taught
remember it.
Never pay medical bills.
Yeah.
Like you have to pay credit card bills because they'll come after you with a judgment or whatever. Like those mean more. But I grew up being taught that you don't have to pay medical bills.
I was not,
And-
but
and
I do remember injuring my hand, and this is one of the first times that I was out on my own, and I remember going to the hospital, and then I remember not having, I had a job at the radio station, but, I was still probably, I'm going to guess part-time.
Yeah.
But I had stuff, but I didn't know. It was that weird time in my life when I was like a young adult where I had everything that adults are supposed to have, but I didn't understand how it all functioned, like insurance or...
Yeah, they need to teach that in high school.
They do not,
Yeah,
because-
nobody knows what they're doing when
That's
they're
absurd,
in early
Yeah,
20s.
because the Mima at the hospital basically explained to me, because we were wasting a lot of time. I'd cut my hand, and we wasted a lot of time talking about it. She's like, don't worry about it. Just put down all this stuff. It'll be fine. They're going to find you, and then you'll be able to pay it or not pay it then. And then it moved on from there.
Yeah, they'll treat. But I remember for certain things like they won't do. I remember I cut the tendon in my pinky, and then it was just cut, and I could not move my pinky anymore because the tendon was severed. And the surgeon that I talked to, I was like, I don't have insurance. He's like, all right, for $1,200, I think it was $1,200 or $600. Something like that. I think it was between $600 and $1,200, whatever. He's like, you have to pay me this, and I'll fix your tendon, and then the hospital will just
Right.
send you the bills or whatever. But you have to pay me this before I'll do this, because this
Right.
is not to save your life. Like the hospital won't do the surgery because it's considered like
Almost like cosmetic,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
necessity, like
Yeah.
a medical
They'll-
necessity.
they'll
yeah.
give you the-
Non-essential surgery.
They'll
of some
stitch
sort.
up the cut so I don't bleed anymore, but then my pinky will never work.
Right.
So it's like, you want your pinky to work? $1,200. Like, I remember that was the first time I realized, like, oh, there's certain things that you do need to pay for. They won't just fix for free at the emergency room. So I had to pay that guy, and then all the other, it was like $30,000, and like they put me to sleep, anesthesia and stuff like that. I never paid it.
Yeah, I want like an actual markup though. Like I want you to. I wish the values seemed more fair.
Right.
You know, like in our chat room, we've got a chatter named Casey who said had brain surgery, received $400,000 bill, received a $400,000 bill, and then said F them. But my point is, did that surgery really cost? And I know that this
No, they 100% overcharge because they know most of the time the insurance company is going to pick up the majority of it.
So none of us really know what, like your tendon surgery is my point.
Right.
Did that doctor, is it worth?
That was pretty close to the
$600. Is that the going rate?
His real rate, yeah, because I paid him directly,
Right.
so it was like that kind of. I guess
actually like that.
He put a number on.
Some doctors will do that, like just regular primary care physicians will do that too.
Yeah,
if you don't have insurance, if they will take you without insurance, if you pay them cash, it'll be cheaper.
Beginning of the pandemic, remember my first test? That's where I went to that place where they're basically like office visits $50.
Yep.
It's just $50,
Yep.
and it's always $50 until we die.
Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It is the time of the week where we waste 2 full segments on the nerd and the jock, so let's do it.
Nerds. Yeah. Nerds. Yeah. Nerds.
Jock, nerd.
Yeah.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
I missed you guys. It was sad not to do this for 2 weeks.
Has
Yeah, I
it been
guess
2 weeks of not doing
We
nerd jock?
left on a Tuesday, you came back on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it felt like I had a weight lifted off my shoulders. Like I was like, man, I feel good.
Yes.
Like
I feel good.
I was twinkle toeing through the studio
Wow.
and lighting my loafers. Why did that used to be?
Gay?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was like, why
Euphemism.
Why using that term?
I don't know. It would if you're using logic, it means you lost some weight, right?
Was it where?
We're-
Samantha, look it up.
at one
Why
point-
didn't
At one point, did ignorant people think that gay people would float away?
Maybe it was like an effeminate thing, like they
Yeah,
were slight,
definitely that.
and so like big burly guys were manly.
You
Therefore,
want a fun
not-
fact? Most of the gay people I know are big burly gay guys.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know very many small gay guys. Ew.
You don't know a lot of bunch of twinks? No?
I like the bigger gay guys.
Well, most of the guys I
bears?
know are big gay. You know,
Gay
big,
guys, yeah.
Big,
I'm serious. I don't know
big
any-
fat gay or big fat guys.
Big fat gay
Well,
guys.
Jesus.
Well, you
Like
can name-
I'm
yeah.
just saying everybody's fat,
Wow.
right?
We're all
He's not wrong.
There's some not fat.
He's not.
but-
If you're
Twinkle
rolling,
toes actually describes a person who is light on their feet, a good dancer, but has also been applied to football players, dates from the early 20th century.
Yeah, well,
no,
light
I've
in
heard
your
it before.
loafers.
Lighting the loafers means that you're gay.
Well, not twinkle to just like
Light in
he's
the
he's a little
loafers.
light in his loafers. Where that saying come from and what's the origin?
That's dumb.
But
We're doing Etymology Tuesday. Is that what we're doing now?
Oh, are you mad because we're stepping on your bit? You know, we got to pay the bills
Maybe a
here.
little
If we don't stoke the fire, then there is no bit. Lots going on in sports. Lots going on in nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Tom, where do you want to go first?
Should we go?
Go ahead,
Should
EJ.
we go to the heavy stuff at the very beginning? Should we start off with the Deshaun Watson stories?
All right, we could start off with
Sean
that.
Watson stories. I would
Deshaun-
prefer you
oh,
not
no, not
steal
Sean.
any stories from Sean Watson. He has a hard enough time trying to get people to not steal his stuff. Come
Now,
on.
This may be very selfish of me because, like, all the allegations and stuff, you need to feel bad for the people involved in this. But I felt bad for the Miami Dolphins because I was waiting. I was like, is he going to go? Is he gonna go? And then I was like, no, allegation. Oh, wow, a lot of allegation.
Yeah.
He'll never go now.
Yeah,
God,
it went-
you blew it, you idiot. God.
It did go exactly like that. It
That's
was
very insensitive because of,
I
but
made the mistake.
I'm sure a lot of people thought that.
I made the mistake of on our trip of asking you about the allegations or what was brewing. And then I went and I started to read, and then it just started unraveling.
Well, yeah, because the I was like, well, maybe I had this insane conspiracy theory first, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. But I started to think, I was like, I wonder if this is retaliation from
This is
Houston
what we talked
Texans,
about, yes.
like because like everybody's on Deshaun Watson's side, and I'm sure. I mean, this is a $1 billion organization, and with companies worth $1 billion or whatever the hell close Houston Texans were. Every NFL team's worth $1 billion. I
It
think.
seemed there was method to what was being leaked out, right?
Well, no, I didn't know about any of that. I just said because at the beginning I first just started hearing about like a couple allegations, like a couple.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wonder if this is Houston Texans trying to like sway public opinion on their side, or maybe villainize them a little bit.
Yeah, taint the well there.
You know, again, conspiracy theory. I was just thinking that
this
like
isn't true. This is just what you were kicking around.
I was like, maybe this, and then as time goes by, and then when it's 24 allegations, and then I'm like, you blew it, because then I was like, they're never going to the Dolphins. And who knows if he's even going to play in the NFL
That's
next
what
year.
I'm hearing now.
I guess it's all got to be sorted out. But yes, I read this, and I read the allegations, and it all.
I had to stop reading them. They were so bad.
It
Like,
all-
I got to one where it's just too far.
What?
So much of that. I don't want to read any of it.
Now, what I guess I hate to say interesting because it's not the proper word, I bet, but it all seems to revolve around masseuses that he would hire and do these things to. And when I look at it, I'm like, well, because I read the stories and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, this is a mental illness because the guy's rich enough to go to a masseuse that does this for a living professionally. You know, I guess you can call him a sex worker or a happy ending. You know, like
I mean, you could get a professional sex worker to do.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
to
that's
do
a
the
real.
thing, yes.
That's a thing, whether you like it or not.
And everybody knows it's a thing. And you know who definitely knows? Robert Kraft and a lot of other probably these guys that would do this. So it's like if he wanted a massage therapist to do that to him, he could have easily paid a person that professionally does that. And it's in the, basically.
So this is why you categorize it more as a mental illness.
Yes, because it seems apparent now. Obviously, everything's allegations. It's all going to be, gone through the court of law and like go through the court system before we all
and the court of public opinion.
That's already gone.
Yeah, you got to do both.
That's already over with. This guy's tarnished forever.
Done.
But so. Why I'm categorized as a mental illness?
I thought there was a snake on the floor, and I started freaking out.
Is because he must like the fact
It's a power thing.
that he's hiring a regular massage therapist, and then trying to get the sexual acts from a professional massage therapist
Unwilling participant.
That's where it takes a real big left turn.
That's where it's disgusting. Yeah.
And that's because the other thing exists, and you could easily, and a bunch of people, probably NFL players, get that service often, I imagine. You know what I'm saying? You go to a massage person that handles in the happy endings, and then you pay them appropriately. And especially in the higher echelons, they'll come to you in your office and do that. And it's all
and in some places you wouldn't even need to describe or disguise it. But if that's what you want,
well, I'm saying, especially if you're a multimillionaire in those realms, I imagine you get the professional masseuse that has that in her contract that's negotiated beforehand, and it's like, all right, for whatever amount of money, I'll do this, and it's agreed upon, and then there's no, you know what I'm saying? There's
no
nothing.
crime.
There's no crime. There's nothing.
Yeah,
and if so that tells me he likes the like Samantha said, the power thing or what, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
weird.
Especially the stuff he was asking for. Like, Samantha, sorry if you have to edit this, but one of the things he says is, "Will you massage my anus?"
Yep, can't say that.
Yeah.
We may be able to say that.
Can you?
I think I'd be
it's
willing to
clinical
die on that
enough,
hill.
but-
Yeah, I think I'd die on that.
Also, that's weird, right?
The Battle of Anus Hill.
Right?
It's weird.
That was in one of the complaints. There's 19 complaints you can read the summaries of. I had to stop at 7, and it was just too much. I just couldn't handle it anymore. It's just gross.
Yeah, it's real gross.
Also, it's interesting that a person of this stature and this fame if you're an NFL quarterback, especially Deshaun Watson, like this person is categorized as one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL, stats wise. Like, there's arguments that say, he's one of the best that's ever played just based on his stats and his abilities. So you are a famous person, right? And it's crazy to me. These people think that they could do these things a lot of times. Like, it's not like one time he was drunk at a bachelor party. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
we assume that these people are like...
It's a serial offender. It's a mental illness.
We assume that these people are like mega intelligent in all of their life, right? So we like apply their football brain, and we're like, well, obviously this guy's smart. I mean, you could make an argument that most quarterbacks are super intelligent because it's a very difficult job to do, right? To be on that level. So he's he's top 5.
A lot of knowledge.
So he's a smart guy. So then we apply the football brain to that, and then we're like, well, you should know common, right? I mean, and it just never works out.
Also, there is an amount of, like, even if you are a Houston Texans fan or whatever team fan you are, that you wish that he'd come to your team because it may look like he was going to come there and then bring you to the Super Bowl, and and then you start hearing about an allegation, and then you start telling yourself, like, well, maybe if this person was out for money, you start doing that, but then there's a number of allegations and a number of people that come forward that you say to yourself, well, they're probably not all out for this same thing.
Right.
It's like, how could it be this many? This is too many.
When there's smoke, there's fire.
21 or whatever it is, 24. I don't know what the number is. At a certain point, you're just like, well, that's it.
Well, I always assume that's a low number, right? Like, I always assume if there are 21 that we know about, then there's at least 48.
There's more that aren't
right.
saying.
I always think that.
It's like, if this was a grand conspiracy by the Houston Texans to defame him, but they just needed 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be nearly impossible to get 24.
That's a great point, because
separate women to lie or at least exaggerate whatever it is. Like, it's just too many. In fact, it's so many that nobody would do that because it's too many. Yeah. So it's like they would maybe do 2, but not 24. Yeah. And so then you're like, all right. Yeah. This is obviously something's happening. There's a mental illness here.
Shut the book.
And you're screwed.
Yeah, you got to get some help.
And what you did is horrible and stupid, and it's a mental illness. And God.
I like that. I like ending with an "oh God."
Because what are you going to say?
That's the only thing you can say.
What are you going to say? It's horrible, and you're just like, Jesus.
Just stop doing stuff like that. Just play football. What else you got?
Yeah, for sure. Well, since we're going from one bad story, let's go to a new good story. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-signed every one of their starters for this season.
Yeah, they're saying that Tampa next year will be even better than Tampa last year. Like
this is the scary part.
He's having a meltdown right now.
What's happening?
This is the scary part.
What the hell?
Scary part.
Was that your other voice talking to you?
It sounded like you had a gun in your mouth. You're like, this is the scary part. Actually going through with it. I'm on camera. I'm going to do it this time.
No, because it froze. And I knew you guys were going to talk crap as soon as it happened. I'm like, oh, here it goes. No. Did you hear what I said about the Tampa Bay re-signing all 22 of their starters?
Yes.
Okay.
And
it's the first time since '79 that any team has done that.
So I have a theory, right? And follow me here.
All right.
And it seems like there are NFL players.
I'd prefer to have the theory before I follow, if that's okay.
So the NFL kind of went from this huge team mentality, like let's say in the 70s when it started getting popular, in the 80s and 90s, it was about the
loyalty
team.
shift, sure.
And then the 90s, it was about the superstar, right?
Yeah.
And it became very unified. It was about the star player.
Yeah.
It was the Deion Sanders. It was, it was the
what
Joe
do they call
Montana,
those guys? The
Jerry Rice.
X-Factors,
Yeah. It all became about the superstars, and the NFL decided, like, well, we'll market to that because these superstars are famous celebrities, and people that's making a lot of money. Everybody wants a Jerry Rice jersey or a Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? It became, and then that obviously we're seeing that it's still that way today.
100%.
But it seems like the paradigm is shifting back to like Tom Brady's mentality, which has always been, I'll take a pay cut. Now, obviously with his Bunchen, he can he has
When
unlimited
you got a
money.
You can
bunch
afford.
Yeah.
When you got a bunch and you can do anything you want.
Now I will argue though that if you are a star wide receiver, whether you make a $56 million or $46 million, like your lifestyle is still the same. And you can make the argument if you took a pay cut and were on a team that you were willing to work with the team so the team had its best players so you can win the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl win is worth more than the extra $10,000 you would have got.
And it is.
Which most contracts in the NFL are complete BS, and what they report where anytime they come out like this player got this many $68 million, all that is BS contracts, and probably most of they get $10 million
incentive
guaranteed.
You have to hit all your incentives to get all that money. Usually, that's the case.
But it sounds good for the NFL.
It does.
The media loves to report high contracts. Like the fans like to hear it. Like nobody doesn't want to. No one wants to hear the legal minutia of like, oh, this contract's only worth $8 million, and the rest is
you want
bonuses.
the big numbers. Yeah.
You have to be on the roster. You have to have a certain number of catches for the year. You have to have a certain number of yards. How many starts? How many plays you play? That's usually the case with that.
So it seems like all the players in Tampa kind of got together and like, hey, if we all, make this work for the organization, obviously there's a cap or whatever, like one player can't demand, like if one player says, no, I want $8 million more,
I
it's
would
not going
like
to work.
that if somebody did that. Like that would make me laugh. But they're not. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to be better, I think, than last year.
That's what everybody's saying.
Leonard Fournette was the last one to sign, so he would have been the one to do it if it anyway.
Correct.
And so they're all saying like, hey, it's not only we have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl again, that actually might be better for all of us.
Yeah.
If
it's almost like collectively gambling too. It's like we're all together in this. Let's go for it. It's cool.
So
I like
we're all putting on the pass line.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with it. I dislike Tampa when we play them, but they're up the road. They're good.
So
they're
all those players could have probably moved on and got $8 million more.
That's usually the case. Yeah, after you win a Super Bowl, that team usually falls apart because they sign for huge contracts after. Yeah. That's what happened to the Chiefs. They lost a couple of their players because of that.
And it showed.
Honestly, if you were an agent or something, like they may tell you, like, listen, I know you can make $8 million more with the Redskins. Or sorry, the Washington football team. But what if all the teams?
It's because you love to say it so much. I hear you in there when he washes his hands. He does 20 seconds of saying just the word Redskins.
Nobody's ever been offended by that.
Terrible.
So
like you as a white man saying no one's ever been offended by that.
Maybe so. They're super sensitive.
Maybe one person who's actually
sensitive.
Way to victim blame there, Tom.
So, okay, what else you got?
Okay, the next one. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic and how they basically sold the farm for the season.
We're rebuilding now, right? We got
they traded away Aaron Gordon. They traded Vujovic and Fournier.
Fournier's gone. Everybody that I knew their name is gone now. We're in rebuilding mode. I watched a little of the game, was it a couple days ago, against the Lakers when we were kind of in it to the end and then lost by a couple points. I mean,
but they got so many draft picks for the next 5 years.
I just feel really
2027 they have picks.
I just feel really bad for Magic fans because if you go into social media and you just see what fans, obviously they're frustrated, they're expressing their displeasure with the Orlando Magic. I don't know, man. It must be very difficult. I mean, it's difficult to be if you support any franchise, any team that doesn't win. Tampa guys know it. Last year you guys won. I mean, Sam, what was it like to follow a team finally that won? Right, completely different season.
Yeah.
A lot more fun.
The whole season was just weird in general, but yeah.
Well, yeah. And that's unfortunate too. I feel bad that up the road, most of my friends are Tampa Bay Bucks fans. They didn't get to do it like it would normally be, and that kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, but this whole situation, I don't know.
Are they
firing? I agree with it, though. I think the reason why they did it, I totally agree with all the picks and all the stuff because they were going to lose Fournier after the season. He was gone, probably. And Gordon, he was never 100%. He was never in an all-star, so I kind of don't blame that move either. and Vucevic, they were going to lose eventually, so might as well get something for him now and not have the whole Shaq scenario.
Now, I'm not too familiar with the NBA or the Magic, but are they firing who built the last team? Because that's what I would do. Because
Right.
if my house,
you go to
They
manage.
did already. They did
okay,
already.
all
They
right,
brought
good.
in the guys from the Milwaukee Bucks that brought in the Greek Freak to Milwaukee, and he's the GM now for the Magic. So that's the reason why they got this job. So he kind of built the team up a little bit to get them to the playoffs, and now this year, like, okay, we got to rebuild. It's just going to fall apart eventually, so might as well do it now, stop the bleeding, get it started for the next, maybe 4 years from now, we'll be playing for the finals.
Yeah, a lot of what I was reading were that certain players were being basically dished off before they got too old, and be good for them because possibly they can go to a team and be a contender. They're not going to be a contender here.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff that I was reading, it just looks like super technical and very weird, and that I just feel bad on layman's terms. I feel bad for Magic fans because as soon
that's
as
the only bad part about it.
like because Vooch, everybody loves that guy, right? I mean,
Yep.
like everybody.
He's an all-star. Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
our all-star for the season.
that's the guy that everybody loves, and when you see these familiar names go away, I know what that feels like. I remember following the Orlando Magic 1989, the inaugural season, and watching players that I got attached to, and then seeing them go away.
Here's why it sucks, because as a sports fan for any team, you want to be excited, and then as soon as you find out the technical plan of the organization, which makes logical sense, like there's same thing with the Dolphins, like 2 years ago.
Business-wise, it's a good decision.
Yeah, like I remember when old Smoking Jay Cutler came on, which is now apparent that there was just the start of the rebuild. It was like this garbage, but I like you get excited. You're like, oh, something, maybe he still got it in him, and then of course it doesn't, and then you're like you start to talk yourself into like, well, maybe they could, and then once you see and they start admitting and they get rid of players and they're like, this is just a rebuild, you can't even root for them to win because you're like, well, the team technically doesn't care or expects
they're
to
taking
lose.
on purpose to get more picks. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you can't be getting excited because they're planning to lose. That was their plan. They need to plan so they get these higher picks even with their regular picks and not the ones they get traded for.
And it's not like they want or are purposely losing. It's just it's like you playing basketball with one hand tied behind your back. It's like, you're still trying to win with one hand, but it's impossible.
Yeah, but that still goes back to what I always say when we talk about tanking in football or the NBA.
Draft picks.
I hate it because you should figure out a better way than having your team have to figure out a way to creatively lose in order to be a better team next year. That just doesn't jive for me.
Yeah, I don't like
that. It would be interesting if the number one draft pick was a complete random lottery. Like let's say you're going back to football, right? And and the rest were based on your record, right? 2 through the rest.
Sure.
But the number one was completely random. And so and say if it was this
Then
year.
you get me in the draft. That would be bad.
No. I'm saying
it'd be the best
position.
player. We're not going to give some load to the Steelers.
No,
I'm not going to. Your number one draft pick is this dad who can't get a fence for his pool.
Why are you so stupid, EJ? I don't mean they're randomly picking.
How dare you?
Oh my!
Hey, Ernie, you made the Bills. What? You made the Buffalo Bills.
They used to do that back in the
Hey,
day.
Ernie, you made them.
No, I'm
What?
saying
I did. Oh my God, I've only got one arm. How did I make the bill?
I'm saying the number one draft pick. So it's like let's say the Chiefs got the number one,
so
just random.
Ernie's number 2.
It's just literally lottery ball system 1 through 32, and they pick it out. The number one draft pick.
I'd be okay with that.
And then if you got like a
So you could win the Super Bowl and still get the first pick?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Oh,
At least
okay.
it wouldn't be
I thought you were
against.
talking about random players.
No, but it
I'm
would.
like, oh my
It would
God.
not be against the nature. The nature of the game is to win. You're giving these players like a mixed signal that that's just stupid.
Yeah.
And then if you get it, like let's say the Chiefs or like Tampa gets the number one draft pick, right?
Buddy.
And then they just trade it for whatever position they need to whoever wants the number one draft pick, which is the Jaguars.
I like it.
They want Trevor Lawrence, so you have to trade some player, whatever makes them. But you still got a 1 out of 32 chance. So most likely it's not going to be the Super Bowl winning team. You know what I'm saying?
Then you would tank for number 2 then.
Yeah,
that you
but
would
not
take
as
for number
much.
2. You'd be just good enough not to be last.
Yeah, I don't think but not as much because that number 1 pick is so significant in the mantra of like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always you tanking for that number 1, but it would take a little bit of the wanting to lose away.
I
Anyway,
mean, it'd be interesting to think that they could make it almost performance based. You know, why we're the only people like our business is performance based, right? Yeah, most people. You know what you do. I mean, name one person that their boss comes to and says, "Hey, I'm going to need you to slack off for the rest of the day so we can be better next year." Nobody says
Right.
No,
You're rewarded for
construction
slacking
workers.
off, and you're punished if you're the best of the best.
Right. So I just feel like, what if you just did it performance based? You know, the team like Tampa performed well, and they held it together, and they're still a team. They should get a pick. They did it right.
The problem is it's way more complicated than we even know because you hear all this whole thing. It's like, oh, the Jets blew it, they lost, and they don't get the number 1. They all knew before. Like if they, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I think we think this is a lot more random than it is. I feel like there's so much money in play and there's so many people involved that they're thinking 5 years, 10 years ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like organizations. I mean, this is a huge business. I think there's a lot less happenstance and chance than we even think. It's like they're all working
Already
side
set
deals.
in motion.
Yeah. They're all working side deals. It's like the 49ers, and they're like, what's going to happen? I think they know like way in advance.
I
like
could totally see that.
coaching, like, hey, in 3 years we're going to go after. We plan to have Cam Newton. Like, you know, I'm saying a guy like Bill Belichick in that organization. Like,
speaking of which, didn't he resign with the Patriots?
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Yeah, I think he did. What else you got? EJ?
Oh, well, the last thing for sports I have is we got to talk about March Madness and how there was so many upsets. Did you put any money on the March Madness there, Tom?
No, I just don't know enough. So it's
More like March Sadness.
It's a coin flip to me, and that's not fun as much fun to me. I need to know a little bit to have a vested interest to see if I can maybe predict what's going to happen.
Don't you just listen to podcasts and they tell you who to
Yeah, why
bet
don't
on?
you just listen to your guys? Didn't you
that's
do that
not-
back in the day? You'd always pick those like long shots all the time. Like they always pick the
He
wrong
was
line.
a pup then. No,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
he's
yeah.
As
in
a
it.
big dog?
Now he's really in it.
I mean, you can.
Oh, you're the expert now.
Well, no.
He's just been doing it longer.
I know enough now to know I don't know anything.
Oh.
So then that makes me stay away from March Madness because
All I know is that I don't know.
anything
Yeah.
that
Okay, Socrates.
I'm just saying, if I bet on March Madness, I'm just randomly
Say Op Ivy, actually.
throwing
More like
money at.
no Socrates because he doesn't wear socks.
All right, EJ, what happened to March Madness?
Oh my god.
All right. Well, Oral Roberts made it all the way to the Sweet 16, and they had a good run, but Arkansas knocked them out. And then we also
Hold
got
on.
Baylor and Houston so far made it. Don't do the Oral Roberts joke. They're so lame if
No,
you do one.
I was
It's
just
worse
thinking
than a
that
dad
it's
joke.
very
everything.
odd that Oral Roberts was he's a, what do you call those guys? He's it was a preacher, but he's what are those ones called where they scream and throw Bibles and stuff?
But it's also
Evangelical?
Well, yeah, like evangelist. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
it's not a cool name for a college, and I feel like I'd be a little
Oral Roberts.
it'd be a little embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a Duke. You know, like it's a, Duke is
Oh,
Duke. Like where do you like? I play a Duke. Or UM.
You got some Duke on your
UF.
Oral Roberts.
It's like, you're like I play an Oral Roberts.
Oral.
Yeah.
Oral. There's no way
Yeah.
around.
It says oral.
Oral.
And Roberts.
Oral. Oral is
Oral Bob.
Oral B. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, it's after that, yeah.
So
The toothbrushes are named after the guy, which is named after
I don't like the name.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I do not like the name Oral B. They do make quality hygiene products. I like their products, but the name, just the term oral, I'm not into, and I would never name my son Oral. Oral Robert. I would not do that.
So a lot of upsets in March Madness.
But most of the like the 1 and 2 seeds are in it. So like Michigan is still in it. So is Gonzaga. And then Baylor and Houston are in the Final Four right now. They play each other Saturday.
Gonzaga better than Oral.
I don't know. Gonzaga, it sounds like
Gazongas, which is the first porno my dad owned. It just sold at the estate sale. That's why I didn't stop by. I didn't want to see my dad's old porno collection out on a folding table with old ladies picking through it. But there was one copy of Gazongas 2, and there was a girl in there that was cross-eyed. I swear to God, she's like a little like that, but
That's all right.
perfect.
Write this down.
Perfect.
Gonzongos. What is it? Gonzongos?
Gazongas.
Versus Oral Roberts.
It's Gazongas.
Gazongos versus Oral.
Now now the team is called Gonzaga. Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Not
Aren't
to
they
be
the Zags
confused
or
with
something like that?
Zaza's Cuban Cafe.
Delicious.
Isn't there a bunch, like if you're really into college
There's a
basketball.
bunchin'.
Well, there's a long history of why these particular college basketball organizations have like are always contenders, or you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is
White privilege.
Well, there's like happenstance and where you are location-wise. For instance, like there's a basketball
Are you talking
team-
about like tried and true, like your Kentuckys and your
Like Indiana, North Carolina,
Yeah.
those kind of
the
universities.
Tar Heels and
Yes, but also there's like private schools and high schools and things where like professional athletes' kids go and stuff, and they're end up, drawing more
Right.
talent than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's like
yeah.
a lot of that. It's like, oh, well, Michael Jordan, I'm sure
it's like a system almost.
when Michael Jordan's son went to UCF, like it drew a lot of quality players that wanted to play with Michael Jordan's son, right? It's like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing yes.
you're like, if you had the choice between going to UF, UM, or UCF to play with Michael Jordan's son,
Yeah.
and they all wanted you, you're probably going to go play with Michael Jordan's son if you had your,
I would, yeah.
druthers. So I think there's a lot of that. It's similar like why Alabama always wins. It's like they always win because they always win, and that draws people and attention to you.
They always win because they always win, and that draws people in. All right.
No, it's just like,
It's a
works that way,
win-win-in
yeah.
scenario.
like good college football players, if they had their choice and Alabama's one of them, they're going to go there because they want to win a
Right.
national championship.
yeah.
And
It's kind of like what
You're
Tampa's
more
trying to
likely
do
to win
now,
when they're-
right? It's to go back to it. Like Tampa's like, we won last year. We signed everybody. We need a bigger receiver, right? That's what they need, right? A wideout.
also, and I bet like backup linemen and stuff that are like on the verge of being able to play like starter and stuff would probably rather play on Tampa's practice
would.
squad than anybody else because you'll get a Super Bowl ring
Yeah.
if they win again, right?
I think there is something. So maybe they're taking the collegiate level of loyalty and the system and applying it towards professional sports. Anyway, we got to get the jockey.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, go to nerd stuff. Okay,
nerd, yeah.
what should we talk about? Let's
You
go
tell
Rick and
us.
Morty. Season 5 is coming in June, and they just released the trailer today.
I enjoy.
So
I really do enjoy the Rick and Morty.
I fell off a long time ago.
I fell off the last season, the one that I think didn't the one come out right before the pandemic?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the
and that's
one,
what's it
I
holds it
never
up.
watched
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, that's the one I need to see. So I have that
it's
one.
on HBO Max now. Like you can watch all the episodes on HBO Max.
Okay.
So it's worth watching on there.
How many people do you think Rick and Morty how many people does it take to produce Rick and Morty from start to finish? Like, how many people we're talking?
Oh my God.
30?
Well, probably let's say 8 voice actors at least, and then you got probably hundreds of animators. You probably got
Hundreds?
multiple. Yeah, because usually they outsource some of
Yeah.
the backgrounds and stuff like that.
It's pretty grandiose, and the story is
Yeah.
pretty big with a lot of
Well, you
characters.
need writers, a team
Yeah,
of
I don't know,
writers.
maybe 50,
Yeah.
50 people, maybe.
You think that many? I was
Maybe. I mean, he's going to get you on a technicality counting all the animators because when you see those credits, a lot of them, who knows what little
Yeah.
part they're working on.
Yeah, well, that doesn't. Like,
I know, but that's what I'm
Let's
trying
say
to help you
200.
with.
Let's say 200 people.
200.
That's about.
Wow,
I would say about 200 people.
that is way more than I thought. I thought you could do it like with 16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do know what you mean. I think you're right.
Yeah,
It's like
you're
you
used to
should be
Swerve
able.
Jones putting together a cartoon for you. Yeah,
Well,
I can understand.
Oh, that's
that
a
being
knock
the
at
basis.
Swervy. That was a knock at
No,
Swervy.
but that means Swervy does a lot of work that it would take 200 people to do.
If you're explaining, you're losing. Jim Colbert.
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
how dare you.
You got 4 or 5 writers. You got 4 or 5 animators. You got some showrunners. Like, well, I mean, was like, how many years? Hundreds of people. It was like, that's a lot for a cartoon.
Yeah, when this one got big, so
Yeah.
now that
That's
it's
the
bigger,
thing. That's the reason why I say multiple.
Yeah, it's kind of like it kind of goes back to your thing about like once it's big, then everybody wants to be there, and
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like, and then somebody nailed it. They were talking about merchandise. That's where it just spirals way out of control.
Of course, yeah. Well, I'm not. I mean, that you just buy in China. You know,
Well, then
but-
you're just
Yeah.
like working in conjunction with people. You're not like, you know, the creators of Rick and Morty are out there stamping action figures.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Um,
Don't let EJ bully you.
All right, next story.
Okay. Well, the next thing we got to talk about is how they're going to release Black Widow on Disney Plus finally, and also while they do it in theaters in July.
But nobody wants it, right?
They should have done it at the beginning of the pandemic. They could have kept their slate the way they had it, and just released Black Widow on Disney Plus, because they're going to do it anyways.
Now, who's Black Widow again?
Natasha Romanoff, played by crap, I just lost her name.
What happened to Scarlett
is it
Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson,
Scarlett
right?
Johansson. Yes, yeah.
No,
we
well,
go.
I'm not talking about that. I mean, you got to explain to me who
She
the
wears a black leather suit. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, who's
Yeah.
the character?
And
Why
she's
Did
normal,
she get bit
right?
by a spider?
She's a normal human. She's a spy. She has some abilities. I think in the comic book she was part of the Red Room, which is a Russian like super soldier recruiting area. That's why she was like sterilized in the movies. But she's dead in Endgame. Spoiler alert.
Wow.
But it's been out for 4 years. If you haven't seen it, you should know already. But this is like a prequel. This takes place after Civil War.
She's a ghost?
Okay, so
Ghost
she's
spy?
a sterile Russian woman. That's her superpower.
No, she's a spy.
Okay.
She's
like-
a sterile Russian spy that's
Like
dead.
Yeah.
drop kid the vulva.
Usually spies like to blend in and secretly
she's too
record.
attractive to not blend in, right?
Well, also, isn't she wearing like a
Black leather
black
suit.
Zip
The
down
only
suit.
other person
It's
that's
like-
worn that is Elvis Presley comeback special 1963.
You're like, there she is, right there.
She's
The
just
one-
like Elvis.
The one in the black leather
She looks
spider
like
suit.
Scarlett Johansson, and she's sterile.
And so this is
I don't know why I would say that to
Why?
somebody. I'd be like, hey, she's over there, and hey, get this, I got the tea. She's sterile.
and this
Can't
is
have babies.
the whole movie's about her.
Yes, and her sister and her parents.
Now her
her
sister's
parents
not
is played by
sterile.
Hopper from freaking Stranger Things.
He's too young to be your dad.
Yeah, but he's dressed like Hellboy, which is really weird. You dumb nerds and all your dumb movies. You know, one day you're going to all collectively call me on the phone and tell me I was right about all your tales unraveling. It's all just this
Disagree. We've been in the
giant
closet for too
web
long. This
of-
is our time now.
It's a giant web of lies, you guys, and you move the goalposts for any type of character you have. It's like, oh yeah, well, she
But how
had,
is that different from any other
oh,
story?
she had a invincibility ray. Stupid.
You did.
All right, let's go to the next one. The Rock is going to be Black Adam, and he shut down all of Times Square just to do the announcement. Have you
guys
seen that?
Have you guys seen any of the Young Rock show on Peacock?
No.
It's not bad.
I haven't. Isn't he good?
Yeah, it's good. He's the Rock. He's good.
I have this, and I don't know if you guys are like that. I know Daniel isn't because he's still a hardwired
Oh, no,
cableman.
that's changing today.
Oh, you're canceling cable?
Oh,
What?
I'm not
Cut the cord?
canceling. I'm not canceling. I'm rewiring my home to have all like updated Cat 5 access,
Oh, so you're still having cable.
and then then that would be the next step. Was once we get that done, then it's all devices streaming.
Nah, all
Are you
right.
going to
No.
get a major trunk cable? Is that what you're getting?
No, nobody
That's
understands
an old
that
school
reference.
right
That's
there,
an
if you didn't
old.
get
That was our old intern John. We called him Major Trunk Cable.
I now feel like network shows are less, and I don't know if this is because
I agree.
Oh, Cat 7. Sorry, I was told Cat 5 was the 90s. Sorry, I don't know anything about this, guys.
Like if you tell me there's a new show and then I'm like, oh, where and what company is making it or whatever,
Right.
and then you tell me ABC or NBC or all the networks, I'm like, ugh. Like I immediately
Yeah.
think it's less.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
No,
that
I do too.
These gigantic production companies have now left that's the feeling I have. And I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but I feel like when someone says it's on CBS, I'm like, ugh.
'Cause of
like
lack
I'm
of freedom.
disappointed.
Well, there's gonna right. There's less freedom for the language and the violence and the nudity and
all the stuff that people like.
yeah.
That's got to be screwing them totally.
Well, they're trying to fix that, so they're launching shows on their streaming services that are uncensored, that are free. The Young Rock is good. On Peacock, because Andrea has that streaming service, and that's what I guess Young Rock would be on. We're stuck on Cheers, unfortunately. It's good. It's good. It holds up. It's funny. It's corny, but it reminds me of theater, and I love theater. You guys would hate it.
The problem is going to be they waited too long. There's a certain generation, even me included, that thinks that all of these network shows, even though they're on the app and maybe they could push the limits further than the FCC allows on TV, but I'm still thinking that they're going to be FCC friendly and therefore less or whatever, even if it's going to take a while before NBC and CBS.
Well, they got to start making good stuff, right? And have good word of mouth.
Yeah.
And people have got to be like, if you watch it on the app, it can go further than...
But I think the biggest thing you have to remember is they have to be willing to go full bore and 100% forward with a project that doesn't have their big Heritage, Coca-Cola, Kleenex sponsors behind,
or stars.
And when they don't have those big sponsors behind, you're not gonna. It's gonna be very hard to get your Coca-Cola, Kleenex to get behind the show that's spicier.
Yep, that's true.
They're not gonna want it because everything changes in microtransactions. It's like turning a cruise ship, right? So getting those big sponsors to put the money behind something that you might know it's a great story, but it might be a little raw and it might be too edgy for people.
Maybe though that's changing.
It is,
and the sponsors are.
But they don't know that.
Well,
Amazon is doing well. The next thing I was going to talk about is Invincible with Amazon. I know Daniel was looking forward to it. And I watched the first 3 episodes. Did you watch it yet?
I watched the first episode in preparation to your bit, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, they kept it. Well, I won't say much about it because I was practicing.
Yeah, spoilers.
Sure. I was spoiler crazy. But they kept it very similar to the book. In fact, I didn't notice any differences. Did you?
No. To tell you the truth, the voice acting is what really grabbed me the most. The people that they got doing it. They got Glenn from Walking Dead. They got J. Jonah Jameson as Omni-Man.
Yeah, Omni-Man. I forget the guy's name. He's in the Farmers commercial. J.K. something.
Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. That guy is an amazing...
He's in everything. He's all over the place.
But he is an amazing Omni-Man. He plays that character perfectly, and I just can't wait to see where it goes. But I'm only one episode
Jason Sudeikis is Rexplode, which kind of makes me happy about. The guy from the League, Rafi from the League.
Yeah.
He plays Rexplode, and he's amazing in it.
TC, you would love this show if it weren't animated. God, you'd love this show.
No, it's animated.
I don't even know.
I was about to say it. You nerds are talking back and forth.
And you would love all of this except it's animated, and that's going to be the one thing you can't get past.
What?
And you can't have your kids watch it.
No.
There's no way. This is not a kid's show.
No.
I was about to say, most of the way through the first episode, I think your kids can watch it.
Okay.
But the last 5 minutes, no way.
In prep for your
that's
bit,
as close I can do that.
Can I geek out for a second?
Sure, go for it.
They 90s-ified the animation, so it looks, to my eyes, exactly like the old G.I. Joe.
Looks like old X-Men.
Yeah, the old X-Men.
Spider-Man 90s.
Yeah, Spider-Man 90s, the old one to grow on, knowing's half the battle, G.I. Joe. It looks like that. It pulls me in. I watched it.
It's a lot of big people in this.
Really,
dude,
really enjoyed it.
Margaret
Sandra
is in it as well. She plays and sorry, I can't mess her name. I know her last name's O.
Yeah, Sandra Oh. Seth Rogen's in it. Nicole Byers in it.
Yep. She's got a cool part.
What is it about?
John Hamm's in it.
We can't really tell you what it's about.
It's an adult animated series based on the Skybound /
It's kind of like
comic.
Superman.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's kind of like Superman. It's kind of the closest I can do.
It's about the most powerful superhero on the planet.
Yeah, I would say updated Superman for adults.
All right.
Yeah.
Updated Superman for adults.
Kind of like The Boys. Very The Boys. Mm-hmm. If you like The Boys, you'd like this show.
Mm-hmm. Except it's animated, so you won't like it.
No,
Yeah.
Any last story, EJ? I know we got 1 minute.
We got either Suicide Squad or Comic-Con, or the Snyder Cut. All 3 of those are huge.
Pick one. We got 1 minute, EJ.
Okay, let's talk about the Snyder Cut because
You got to make it
basically
faster
changed
than
what
that
Warner
movie.
Brothers is. Yeah, I know. It's a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's a 4.5-hour movie, but it improved so much on what they originally released in 2017.
And it's called the Snyder Cup.
Cut.
The Snyder Cut. It's
It's
the
the
director.
director's
Zack
cut.
Snyder was the director at the time, and because he had a death in the family, he had to quit, and they brought Joss Whedon in to finish it in 2017. And the product that we got in 2017 was garbage compared to what the Snyder Cut was.
And what's the movie about?
It's basically Justice League. It's Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Cyborg,
It's his
Flash.
version of Justice
Yeah,
League.
it's his, like, he tells the story he originally set out to tell. It's, like, excruciatingly long from what people tell me.
Yeah.
Watch it
But
in
it's set up
chapters.
in different parts,
If you watch
yeah.
it in chapters, it's fine.
So it's literally just like a series, like they do what you mentioned, The Boys, but he just made it
Yeah.
into a movie. So it's like a 6-hour movie,
Like
or
Game of Thrones, big fat movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I'll check that out. What platform is that on?
HBO Max.
All right. I see. I value that high.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
high. Yeah. Well, Invincible's on Amazon Prime.
No, I was going to
and,
say,
like,
where do you stand on if I say Amazon Prime? I think that's lower level, too.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess
because-
it's
Really?
good material.
I
I
on
understand
Amazon.
that, but yeah, I also buy
think-
my toilet paper there, so I lower it a little bit.
In my mind, the scale is HBO Max, Netflix.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
Well, I mean, not for babies. I'm talking about for adult
No.
content. HBO Max, Netflix, then Amazon.
Where's Hulu?
Prime. Then
Where's Hulu?
Hulu. Then
Peacock.
Paramount, Stars, Showtime.
Showtime's down there.
Oh, okay.
Where do you
know,
put
I put the,
Crunchyroll?
Oh, down.
Okay.
All right, EJ. We got to get out of here. You got anything to plug?
All right. I'm going to get a fence with my stimulus check, unless you guys can find me a sponsor before I buy it.
Nah, just waste your money.
Good luck with that. A $1,500 fence, you'll
Yeah,
get
well, one slab.
You get 1.5 sides.
Congrats, you just bought 6 4x4s.
No, I'm also doing with my tax rebate as well. It's
well,
that all that together with me and my wife.
My God,
So
you're
that's what I'm
rich.
doing.
And then you're gonna do it yourself.
I'm thinking about doing it myself because all
No,
it is
let
an
him.
auger. It's really easy to do.
All right.
I did all my screens like 2 weeks ago.
Now you ended up doing your screens.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah, I did all the
Oh,
screens.
man.
It's nice.
Looks like a baggy doofus.
How dare you.
Wait, what? I said it wrong. What is it?
It's baggy. It's a baggy doofus.
It's a baggy doofus.
fatso,
Yeah,
whatever.
Baggy fatso. That's what it is. Oh, it's terrible.
Call me stupid, and you also call me baggy doofus. I'll fight you guys next time I see you.
All right, baggy doofus. We'll
Yeah,
talk to you
we'll
later.
Talk to you later, D.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, we gotta go. Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Is there any like type of business? Normally, there's like business at the top because they say
Fun
in
at the
radio.
bottom,
Well, they
yeah.
say in radio that you gotta like remind your audience.
Radio. This is a radio.
Well, I mean, it is in its smallest form. Is
Trying to
it is.
explain to somebody that you do both a podcast and a radio show, it's hard for people to comprehend.
Yeah.
I've been finding myself just
I don't do it
saying
anymore.
podcast now, and then everybody understands and knows that that's a business.
They don't, trust me. I had a conversation this weekend.
Well-
and they're like, how does a podcast make money? And I'm like,
It depends on.
Well-
Yeah, and you know
depends
what you
on-
say to them? You say, yes, how does a podcast make money?
Well, you got to
Because
read.
we need to know.
You got to read your crowd and who you're talking to. You know, you're talking to your Uncle Randy, then just tell them you do radio. They understand that. If you're talking to anybody that has an understanding about current technology and
this
the
person
world
did.
we're in.
It surprised me very much.
Yeah, that's where. Listen, I heard people in the radio industry ask me how they make money or how this
Right.
makes money, and I'm like, I'm dumbfounded by that question because like it's the same way you make. It's the same
Yeah,
business.
but they don't do sales, so they don't know.
But you know what
'Cause
I've
we
started...
kinda do everything.
You know what I've
No,
started
but they
saying?
know how
and
their business works, advertising money,
Maybe
and
they don't.
I've started saying
that's
this,
insane though.
but
That's
it's-
what I'm saying.
It's wrong, and I shouldn't say it, but it feels more current. So when people say, "What do you do?" I typically say I'm an influencer.
No, okay.
But I'm
You do have a fan page on
That's
Facebook.
But I'm
and
dumb
you have a blue
old.
check.
But I am dumb old man. I am. Yeah, on Twitter I am. But Twitter's not cool. That's dumb old man.
See,
I would need to be that on TikTok to truly be an influencer, I feel like.
Well, your video did go viral, so there's like 13,000 views.
No, Tom's did. Tom's did.
Tom's.
Mine did not.
the influencer is even more confusing, even for me, because there's so many different ways an influencer can make money that it's so much all over the place that I actually am confused and start asking questions when someone says they're an influencer, because I want to know, like, well, how do you monetize it? Because the sky's the limit, and everybody's doing it different. But podcast, I feel like people understand that it's like radio and the fact that there's advertising involved.
But then they go like, you're like Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah. And then you're like, no, he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because there are like weird outliers.
There's different
now.
spectrums of podcasts,
Yeah.
and we are in the lower middle. Lower middle class.
We're lower middle class, yeah.
They know I'm not like Joe Rogan, but if
me neither.
they can see me.
I'm not
they can see
red
my
enough.
crooked teeth.
Both got red faces, though.
That's true.
Yeah. You have a redder face than I do.
Yeah.
You have a nice Rogan red. I have more of a jaundice yellow.
Yeah. It's, I'm my HGH and
I had
alcohol.
a dream.
Huh?
I had a dream I got on that
HGH?
last night. I had a dream last night that you convinced me to get on the artificial T or the extra T.
Well, that's different than HGH.
And I poofed up, and man, I was mad all the time and really red.
Everybody should get on the T at a certain point, right?
I mean, maybe not my wife, but
Well, I'm saying every man.
Yeah.
Because it'll help you live longer, I think.
would you want to do some voicemails, buddy?
Yeah.
Voicemails. If you want to leave one, you can get our free app. Just search, wherever the smart apps are. Search a Mediocre Time or Tom and Dan. You'll get it totally free. All of our content's on there. You can sign up to be a BDM member at tomanddan.com. I'm kind of going to like yard sale this and just go through all of them to clean house for ACTs. So some of these might be old. I apologize.
Hey, Tom and Dan and Sam and Butler, even though you sometimes don't participate. So it's BDM from Washington State. You guys are talking on ACT about the wedding song.
This guy's in Washington State. It's the only reason I kept it. He's in Washington State, and he's talking about his wedding song.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was it?
Yeah, let's see.
Can't hear.
Let's see here.
Back to that, just for the background noise and driving the 53-foot trailer full of beer.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now you kept it because he said he's from
Washington State. I was like, I was hoping it would get better.
Okay.
And it was Tom saying, why'd you keep it? I understand that. You could have just said, why did you keep it? You're doing a bad job. That's fine. You can do voicemails now. Next.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, and the Chopper. Just listening to, I believe it was Thursday's corporate time, and in between hours, there's a ad on the podcast where you guys interview a nice lady about her experience buying a home from the Bart Merrick Crystal Van team. But what's funny is Tom Van, as he says their names, he goes Bart Merrick and Crystal Van. And it's just a funny thing to hear those little subtle things about Crystal Van, my wife.
Was he saying that subconsciously you changed the way you said this in the ad because you were like projecting in some weird way, like true thoughts or something that was on your mind? Or?
I think it's
I've never
because
heard that.
I used to say Bart Merrick and my wife, and then Crystal's like, stop. Just say my name.
Yeah, she's a person.
Don't just say my
She's not
wife.
your property.
Yeah. And it was a thing. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And I wasn't even doing it.
So his brain has to pause to remember to
Yes.
say Crystal Van instead of my wife, so that's why it changed.
That's
the only reason.
That's how
guys.
stupid
Well,
I am.
I think I say my wife more than I say Andrea.
But that's okay when you're talking, like having a story about something she's done. When you're trying to promote her as a business person, you don't want to just say my wife as if...
Technically still is property.
And this is how narcissist I am. Because I in the beginning, I actually thought it was helping her.
Yeah.
Because I
connected to the famous guy. I'm with you. High five.
There it is.
I'm with you.
We're open, baby.
Yeah. Look, he's got me on this whole we're open thing, and I'm living the dream. I'm loving it. I'm living my best life.
Everyone
Since
see
I've
me
adopted
screaming.
We're Open, baby, I'm living my best life.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be screaming and someone's hitting someone in the flag, and then I'm like, oh, and they're gonna be like, Tom,
Can't you find anything else to kill that guy with other than a flag? How about a road cone?
there's a yellow snake flag. I don't know what that is. I'm always like, what the hell is a snake? What does that have to
Why
do with
did
anything?
you climb that wall? There's steps. You could have just walked right up the steps. You climbed the wall. You fell in your backpack. Let's try this one.
So, follow up to my emotional support animal thing. The person who got the emotional support animal thing also got their medical marijuana license from the same doctor over a Zoom meeting. It was a bunch of BS. It is a bunch of BS. It's a money grab.
Wait, you can get an emotional support animal at the same time you're getting a medical marijuana
Yeah,
card?
hold on a second.
That's
I think it's probably
awesome.
It's probably the same process. Now, here's why it's different: is because when you bring your Yorkie who's shaking because it's terrified and doing tiny squirts of pee-pee all up and down the airport and on the plane and stuff, and it's freaked out because it doesn't want to be flying with you. It's in some sort of
a tiny little bag with a little
Louis Vuitton bag with a screen
with just baggy doofus screen windows like EJ's stupid.
Yeah. And
screen
and then
porch.
you bring it on the plane with you. There's people that are allergic to dogs. It's like making some noise.
There was one on our flight coming back from Colorado. It didn't say a peep. I think it was dead.
So there's that, or there's just enjoying THC and the privacy of your own home, bothering nobody. There's a big difference of why it should be easy to get one and not the other.
Okay, question that Maisie had for me. You fly a lot more. You know, it's in your blood, sort by marriage. Okay, so if I want to take Caesar the dog on the plane, can I buy a seat, put him in a thing, and set him in the seat, and because he won't say a word.
You need emotional support
for him
BS.
to be in a seat.
Okay, so it wouldn't
unless you want to put him under the plane, right? Then you can just
So the only
that's
way,
baggage.
But I
Right.
can't buy a seat and then say,
No.
look, I purchased this seat. He's a great dog. Because I would want to do it above board. You know Caesar. Everybody knows Caesar.
No,
they
no.
don't do anything.
No.
He will lay on a plane 9 hours to Japan, no problem.
Well, that's why most people just got the BS emotional support animal thing.
Yeah.
So because they wanted to fly with their dog and they didn't want to stick it underneath the plane because
Yeah.
their dog is their family, and they felt bad if it was sitting, or like had to ride with all the baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just like, I'm not
I wish
hurting.
there was a separate place for people to put their kids on planes.
Well, it depends.
Somebody tried that, I think. I think somebody was trying on bigger airplanes. They do have kid areas where the kids can kind of go to keep them
then
from
there's
going,
like a babysitter that just watches all the kids.
going nutty.
Your kid should be able to pass a test, and then they can fly
I agree
with
with
the
that.
rest of the adults. Because my sons,
They're great.
and Maisie too,
They were
literally, I mean, not bothering anybody, just sitting there on
Not
their
a lick.
iPads for 3 hours, or their Kindles or whatever, and then with their headphones on, just watching video games or playing, whatever, and not bothering anybody. Then, there's the kid that's running up and down the aisle screaming,
I
and
think
kicking
they
the back
tried
of the seats
that.
and stuff.
I've only had that one time, and I will
I feel
say
like I
though,
have it every time.
I had it once, and it was really, really bad. I think it was on my flight to Dave's wedding when I went out to LA by myself, and it was really, really bad. Now, again, my anxiety probably heightened because I was flying by myself. So I try to be, and now that I have kids, I'm obviously more lenient because I understand it more. But I will say that I wouldn't be anti. I thought Hooters Airlines or one of these airlines that was like flash in the pan. I think they tried something where it was like an adult only flight.
I'm down for that.
I'm totally okay with that. You know, I mean, yeah.
Options. It's options.
Yeah, give everybody options.
Yeah.
There should be a family flight where the kids have stuff
Exactly,
to do. I'm
yeah.
okay with that.
The problem is you have to pay a higher rate.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but then you start
Give
looking
me
and you're like,
options.
well, for $200 cheaper, I could just fly Southwest and run the gamble that maybe, it depends on time of day. If you fly
It
different...
does not, dude. Trust me, I have flown at all different hours, and there's always kids on the flights.
Hold on.
And they always sit next to me and kick me in my thighs. It happens every time.
You got nice thighs. That's your fault.
They lay horizontally and start kicking me crazy. It's a conspiracy.
When's the last time you flew?
Ooh, it's been a while now. Pandemic happened last
Yeah.
year. We
Probably-
were closed babies.
I'll fly
so,
crazy during a
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah.
This guy's up there. He's
Literally
playing the
nothing
Red
changed.
Baron up there.
But
God, I'm trying to remember.
so maybe because nowadays I didn't hear one kid do like. Obviously, the pandemic's changed a lot.
Less parents fly with their kids because you only fly with a good kid because they got to wear that damn mask the whole flight.
But also,
So they do enforce you have to wear a mask on the flight all the time.
Big
you
time.
You can't. They tell you.
The pilot from somebody was it the person we were talking? Oh no, it was in your family was talking about that kids are going in the back and using their vape pens in the. And they were going to Colorado in the bathroom. Yeah, and Garrett said that they came on. The pilot came on. He's like, if you guys don't knock it off, I can totally just turn this thing. We'll just land it here, and you'll have to figure out a way to get home.
They're gonna land in Dallas Fort Worth. They're like, we'll land if someone vapes
during
again.
times of COVID. When you have a mask on your face, they don't take kindly to you not listening to them at all.
Don't be a D-head. The last time I flew was July of 2019.
Okay, well, that's still around the time. I mean, because I feel like personal tablet devices have helped kids with airline flights because they could just sit there. I mean, if I didn't give my kids tablets, they would be antsy, and after an hour, they'd start like wanting to get up, get down, like move around. You know,
gotta get up to get down.
Yeah, they're kids. They're 5 and 6. They got.
I don't blame the kids.
Yeah, but if you give them the tablet, they literally just sit there and stare at it.
Some of them.
Yeah, I guess some they'll.
Not everyone's like your kids, man.
They get disinterested, and but you think most kids, if you give them a Nintendo Switch and some games, they just play on it for hours, right?
I think
like they get tired.
I think
kids get tired of it and be like, "What else is next?"
I think both of you answered the question together.
Depends on the kids. Depends
she
what they
said
have.
not blaming the kids, which is accurate. It's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
And you and Crystal you have done an amazing job.
Not every kid has a tablet or a Nintendo Switch like your kids either. So it's like
he's hard on himself. He's very attentive. You've seen him. If his kid's gonna like even get close to doing something that it's just gonna be shut down. It's not gonna happen. You're talking about the people that need it, and they are not you.
I'd let them go wild if they did, you know, like, and then I'd be like, "Oh God,
screw everybody else on this plane."
Like I'm
Show
trashy
me
too.
your son's wild. I have never.
No, they're not.
I would have to see that with my own eyes.
It has nothing to do with me. I didn't do any of that.
Give me
whatever.
the wild.
It was the crow.
Yeah, the crow or random happenstance. But what I'm saying is that like I would feel like most kids, like I don't know, and not every kid has a tablet, but nowadays it's like. What's a Kindle cost? A used Kindle?
Oh man, you can get
$140
I think you can get decent ones for like $75.
$75.
$50. I think you can get a decent, and I mean enough to
like
play
a Microsoft tablet or something like that.
Well, like even a Kindle, the Kindle Fire, they got games on there, right?
Because my sons, they don't have iPads. They have 2 Kindles, and there's a bunch of games they download or whatever. They're like, they're generic games or whatever, but that holds their attention because there's so much different things. I feel like most kids. If you gave, it's like when I was a kid, I had a Game Boy. When I was 11 or whatever years old, and then I would just sit on long car trips and play the Game Boy.
You scored because for me on flights, being older than you by 6 years, 5 years, I had nothing. I had action figures and books.
I didn't fly much when I was a young kid. Like,
I flew a ton. I flew more when I was a kid than I ever did now, and I
I didn't fly at all until I got married. For my honeymoon was my first time I ever flew.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't think I flew until I was like a teenager. I never flew when I was a kid.
My mom and dad were flyers, man. Like
we didn't go anywhere when I was a kid.
They liked to travel. We had an Eastern Airlines credit card, and we would fly to Virginia. Eastern Airlines would have been a competitor of Delta at the time. Like the two big for us were Delta and Eastern. And Eastern Airlines, if anybody can remember that, we had a card and we flew to Virginia. I have probably flown to Virginia with my parents 60 plus times through the years when I was a kid. And all I had were G.I. Joes and like a Zork book, maybe a Choose Your Own Adventure book, something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember, it's all I knew, so it wasn't bad. And I was a good kid, and my parents would have busted my ass if I were running up and down the aisles.
It just has to be better nowadays compared to like the 80s or even the 90s flying just because of personal computing devices. Like, and the fact that there's a TV in every headrest,
I don't even use my iPad. Like I use the stupid TV because I can see where my flight's going. You know what I really like on there, especially as a nervous flyer, it's kind of fun. You can see the path that he initially wanted to take, and then you see the actual path. So you can see what he had to change. It's kind of cool.
You could see the projected path.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
Yeah, they give
It
you.
depends which plane you're on, but yeah, some of them you can.
They give you a line. They say projected path, and then they'll show you like if it varied.
Well, hold on. That would make me more nervous if I wasn't nervous.
Like, why are they
because
changing the flight
you're like,
plan?
why is this
never thought
guy
of that.
What's going on, bro?
dodging? What is
Now
he
you're
dodging,
scared.
bro?
See, that's you're negative Nelly. I was going the positive way. I was like, well, look, he went around that.
That's
He's a
cool.
good guy.
I don't know why are we
You're
going.
taking away my positivity, man.
No, it's in every horror movie. Like, you're like, why are we going down this road? Like, where?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be going that way. Like, I'd be
Don't change
suspicious.
course.
Yeah.
Killing my positivity.
Like, what are you trying to
I
avoid?
never thought of that. I honestly thought of it naturally as like, oh, this is good. Look, he must have gone around that storm he talked about.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. I didn't take it the other way.
No. You're like, why?
You're right. Thank you for
someone hijacked the
You know what?
plane.
I appreciate you correcting the error of my ways.
Why are we going towards that statue?
That looks like a mountain.
All
God,
right.
you scared the hell out of me. You want to do a voicemail?
Yeah,
Another one?
let's do another one.
All right, go back in here. I shut it down. Let's try this one about Instagrams.
Hey guys, just calling because I was listening to Moms Over Bad Dads, and I heard you guys mention about the jerk who owns the A Mediocre Time Instagram account. And I laugh every time I hear that because that is my little brother. And he is actually a huge fan. So I guess, yeah, he's doing it just to be a jerk. But anyway, also I can tell you guys about the time I met the Frank Gay at a bar in Winter Park.
I want to
I'll
hear
hang
both
up
of
the
these.
Oh, this lady needs to.
First of all,
she got the tea.
If your little brother's a fan, why be a D-head
No, they do
and
that to
hold
me
on
all
to
the
our
time.
account?
Well, hold
It doesn't
on,
make
There's
any
a guy
sense.
on Facebook who's or not Facebook. There's a guy on Xbox Live whose name is A Mediocre Time, and occasionally he'll just send me a message, be like, "Show's been good, man." I'll write back. I'll be like, "Okay,
Well,
mediocre. Okay, A Mediocre Time."
Right.
well, that is a tribute. I understand because we don't need that.
Well, you're wrong because he says his name is A Mediocre Time, and then at the end he uses an emoji of a blue check mark to get people to
like
think that we're like a verified
linked, yeah.
Xbox
Okay.
thing. It's an attention thing. It's weird.
Well-
I've never understood it.
as long as he's screaming the N-word sparingly,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yes.
Like, don't use it too much.
Every fifth online Rocket League match, he yells the N-word.
But with the Instagram, that's business for us. Like,
weird.
that could help it. Like, well, can you find this lady's little brother? Like, little brother, how?
It's impossible. He's slipped through the cracks. It's like Edward Snowden at this point. Edward.
If she's listening,
Edward
please
McCain?
email me, and we want to talk to you because I need to know what's going on.
Also, if you're
here. And I want to hear about your instance with Frank Gay.
if you're an adult, don't reference your adult younger sibling as little brother, because always I will think that he's 9 years old. You see what I'm saying? Like, if an adult says,
okay.
I have a little
Just
brother.
say younger brother, right?
Just say brother. Who
No.
cares?
You know what they do that I hate?
I don't care
No, little brother's
who
fine.
came out first. I didn't ask that.
Little brother's actually okay with me. You know where I really dislike is when they say baby brother.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah. If
That's my baby brother. No,
or
it's
kid
not.
brother.
He's
If he-
not a baby.
Well, if he is a kid or a baby, then it's acceptable. Fine. But
Okay.
if he's 28 years old,
Yes.
then it's just brother. Drop the little baby, all the stuff.
I agree.
Older too. I don't care how, if, in what.
I like this
Too many
streamlined-
details.
Yeah, don't care.
I really like this
Just
new
say-
streamlined Tom Van that we're getting.
The
because
less words, the better for Tom.
Because now I'm thinking that you said little brother, he's 13 years old, and then I'm going to have to negotiate our Instagram handle with a 13-year-old. But if he's 32 years old, then
Yeah.
I will negotiate differently. You see what I'm saying? Like, am I from candy or beer here?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And Frank Gay, he's a plumberman here in town, a realman who likes exotic sports.
A fashion designer.
He likes his fashion. He has a passion for the fashion, as they say.
Yeah.
Pret-a-porter, ready to wear.
What a bizarro, random. Okay, send me Tom at tomanddan.com, and if this person's little brother's listening, I would like
You just did it.
to negotiate the terms of our
the terms.
deal on the air, and then we'll buy back our Instagram handle.
There you go.
And he owns A Mediocre Time, just that's it.
On Instagram.
I think it's at A Mediocre Time, forcing us to change ours to at Tom and Dan Live.
Yes.
Okay. All
Which,
right.
Tom and Dan Live, what are we? A late night talk show? Stupid.
I'll get it back.
Let's try this one.
Yeah, hi you guys. This is Bill from Arizona, a longtime BDM, and I left an email before about a couple of things that you guys could watch on Netflix that are great. It was a docudrama about a girl that walked across Australia, and it was called Tracks. So that's a really good one to watch. And also, I was just staying home looking at YouTube videos, and I found this one called it's called. I'm a little nervous, so hold on. It was called Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter.
Spit it out.
Oh shit.
No.
Boot Camp. Bounty Hunter Boot Camp. The reason I'm calling and telling you guys about this, there's a guy on there, and his name is Scott. He's the head guy, and that guy is a spitting image of Dirty Jim. Talks like him, looks like him.
Yes.
Just check it out. See what you think. Cause I thought it was funny as hell. Anyway, I don't want to take up much of your time. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.
We love you too. I like this guy calling in telling us about maybe about YouTube videos he remembers slightly is awesome.
Yeah.
New bit.
Also,
what was it called? Bounty Hunter what?
Bounty Hunter. Oh, I already forgot it.
Oh.
Shit. No, I just wanted to say that. Put 2 on it. Put 2 on it.
If you're, an older, bald, white guy.
They all kind of look like,
it goes back to all ethnicities look like their own ethnicity.
Yeah, this guy is, they're called, the chat room's being mean to this guy. They're calling him Bill Streama.
And so, what was he's talking
Juan
about?
called him nervous documentary man.
Yeah, put him on the list.
The documentary is about someone walking across
Australia.
somewhere.
That was the first
out.
one.
Those are out.
Or like,
did we ever get the lawnmower guy? Are we talking to that guy?
I reached out. Yes, I think I'll have to check my email, but I think I did book him.
He's like a guy driving across. Is it the state of Florida or the United States?
I'll have to look again.
This is what bothered it started with Survivor Man. You remember that one?
Yeah.
It's the ones where they film it themselves, right?
Oh, Survivor Man was the guy with the long hair, kind of the shorter guy.
Yeah.
Who people were like, he's the real. Bear Grylls doesn't eat his own poop.
Right.
This guy's the real because he eats his own. Right? I mean, it was like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But
Bear Grylls got a new season coming out tomorrow, I think.
Here's the problem with Survivor Man. Bear Grylls had a camera guy, so Survivor Man filmed it himself, and there's been a lot of Survivor Man series that film themselves, and some of these people, like, obviously to save money, and you're doing it by yourself, you're filming it, you're documenting it by yourself.
It's like what the cooks do on Twitch.
And this may be why I'm crazy, but it would bother me every single time when they'd set up a shot, and then it would be of them walking away from the camera, because the whole time, all I could think about was that they had to eventually stop at one point and turn
go
around
back and get your
and
camera.
go back and get the camera, and it would drive me crazy every time.
Especially, you're saying if you were if you were filming it yourself.
No, I'm just saying as a viewer, all I could think about is him walking away from the camera because I knew he would have to go back and turn around and get it. And it wouldn't make it enjoyable because all I could think about is the insane amount of work he was doing to somehow make this a better thing.
The canoe shots would bother me because walking back to get a camera is one thing, but putting your canoe down, getting out of it, running back to get your camera, running back and getting back in your canoe, all games are. And I'm not doing that.
So every shot that they would film, which I would know that they would have to go double back and do a tremendous amount of work to get their camera, I would say, well, that shot wasn't worth it because all I could think about is how much effort this took.
Now, how would you feel if we had, what's his name, Les Stroud or whatever, if we had him in here and he said, I know what you're thinking, but really what I would do is set up, I had multiple GoPros, and I would set them up and I would use just simple butcher's twine, and I would tie it around it, and then when I was done with the shot, I'd pull back the camera. Then would you be like, you're lying to me, Les Stroud? And then he'd be like, yes, I am, but I had to give you an answer.
Well, now I would imagine that with drones, like you set the drone camera and then you walk far away and then you just hit
the button
and then it flies to,
But if you've got vines all around, They ain't gonna fly.
Yeah. You'd have to no vines.
Yeah. We can go to a jungle, but no vines. I've got multiple drones.
Also, you know what else bothers me is the cameras that it's a selfie stick, but somehow the camera knows to edit out the stick.
Oh, I have one of those.
A
self-editing stick? Oh, yeah. I was going to give you one for your birthday, a self-editing selfie stick.
Because, all the one-wheeler guys have them.
You don't want the stick in your shot.
Yeah, well, here's the problem.
Sticks are for dicks.
They're just holding their hand out, holding nothing. And I know the stick is there, and I cannot see it.
Show them the stick.
And it makes me crazy.
So you'd rather have the stick?
Well, yes, because them holding an invisible nothing makes me angry.
What if he had like what if I could put something else there? What if I like a magic wand, Harry Potter wand?
What makes me mad is that he's obviously holding something. It's just they figured out a way to digitally edit out the stick. And then,
so you want them to digitally edit out the arm too?
Yes, we're gonna digitally edit. Yes, because just switch to drone. I think they all have the drones that follow you now.
Now you have filmed yourself. Now what about if I hold my like pop socket style hand out in front of me and film myself on my one wheel? That way, is that acceptable?
That's acceptable because you're not trying to hide what you're doing.
Okay.
With the invisible stick, it's somehow you're like, I'm not doing that,
Who
but
are
I
you
know
trying to
you're doing
convince?
it.
Yeah.
Because I see your hand.
Yeah. Who are you tricking?
Holding the invisible stick. All right, I'm sorry, I had to get that. Feel better.
How long
now.
you been sitting on that one, Tom? Man.
Every time I see the one wheel guy with like the invisible stick again, you're holding nothing.
Yeah.
And it's and then it bothers me, and it's not a cooler. Because the stick is edited out, it doesn't make it like 10 times better because I still know the stick is there. Because you're holding nothing.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like if you were able to, if the invisible stick like came out your back and then hovered over, like, you know what I'm saying? If it was
what if you're wearing a backpack and it comes across over? Now,
then I'm
if your arm's involved.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, hold on. One of our favorite listeners in our Twitch chat room. You can be one of those favorite listeners. Twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive. Christine says, okay, I need to tell Tom about how I used to volunteer for the shelter and take photos of dogs, but we would digitally edit out the leash used to hold the dog in front of the background. So she would go back and remove the leash so you have a better representation of the dog.
Yeah.
Probably
It's fine, but the person wasn't in the photo either, right? That like holding the
I'm
leash.
gonna guess
He's saying
Yeah, because if
he doesn't like the fact that you're trying to quote unquote trick him into thinking that you're not holding.
People
a
are
stick.
mad that you're so mad right now. Well, they're mad. They're concerned.
confused.
Yeah, they're a little concerned as to why you're
Christine,
really freaking out.
Here would be the equivalent of what you were doing, right? If the photo was of the dog handler, like struggling, like, you know what I'm saying? And then the dog is going crazy, but you edit it out.
You can see your arm holding something, but there's no leash there.
And you could tell there's a struggle
Just
going
like
on.
two people freaking out independently, right?
And then we're like, we'll edit out the leash so nobody will know. Like, we can tell. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. It's stupid invisible
Are
stick.
selfie sticks still like I know European people, if you go to like and it's a stereotype, but if you go to like any of the theme parks, even now, European people seem to have an addiction and a great love for selfie sticks and different type of cell phone technology, or at least the different types of like.
Yeah, but they're a couple years behind us, so like
I never thought that. You know, I always
selfie
thought they got
stick
stuff
is
before we did.
2014, right?
Yeah. I feel like you might have nailed that.
And so many people clowned on everybody, including I went to a ski trip one time where Crystal got me a selfie stick, and then it became apparent that that's for nerd dads, and then I stopped using it because I was embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the other nerd dads, I imagined, got shamed out of using them. And you have this hours of footage of you skiing that you'll never watch again and nobody cares about. And then you realize, like, why am I doing this and wasting my time videotaping me skiing?
Kind of what I feel like when I see anybody at Diagon Alley filming as they're walking around. I'm typically thinking to myself, now I realize this may be the first time
it's
you've been
Harry
there.
Potter land. Let me break it down.
Where the
for
dragon
you.
blows the fire. It's the newer.
Universal,
It's not even that new now.
Okay.
But it's like one of those things where you look at it, and I guess I can understand if you if you love Harry Potter, you're going there and you don't think you'll ever see that again. The thing I would offer up to you, though, is that I would be willing to bet that Universal Studios themselves has an amazing walkthrough of the, or even like a
there's
VR.
hundreds of them.
You know, and like you
on
don't.
YouTube.
My point is, enjoy. Like I tried to do this on our ski trip. I tried not to be the guy that got out my phone all the time to snap photos of me in the snow because I realized that I would be better suited to try and actually ski.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was right. I would have died if I'd done that.
Now, we were talking about this. I think me and Crystal when we were driving in Colorado last time. Maybe 3 years before we brought the nanny to Colorado with us, and it was our first time in Colorado, and she was obsessed with all the mountains, and she was taking pictures of all the mountains. But after a certain point in the trip, it was like, well, how many different pictures from a moving car of mountains are you going to have on your phone where it's like there's no way you're scrolling through hundreds of pictures of mountains and appreciating them. Like, I think you just need a couple to get the gist of the remembering the trip, right? You don't need 55 pictures of mountains, right?
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah. But people do overtake pictures of things, and you're like, are you ever going to appreciate these or look at them again?
Like wedding video. Like wedding video to me is because I could never, and I would make this argument because I think Andrea even wanted it. But I think my argument was like, look, I get the picture thing. You print them up, blow them up, put them in your house, whatever. You might flip through it. But the video, I can't see myself sitting down with my wife to take in our vows again on the video.
If somehow, like...
If it was funny, maybe. I think it would make me uncomfortable to watch it if I had a video of it.
Here's where...
You guys don't have it, do you?
I don't have a video.
I don't have it either.
You don't have it, do you?
I don't, but I would have...
Somebody's got a video of my wedding.
I'd rather have a wedding video than the pictures I have, and I'll explain. If the video was taken behind the scenes and in a kind of a... I'm using a porno term, gonzo type of like a documentary style.
Yeah, like a behind the music.
Well, no, just if
like where everybody's getting ready.
Yeah.
Here's the groom. Oh, let's
you guys are partying before the wedding.
Hang her dress in a bathtub. Get a shot of that.
Like there could be some of the actual ceremony, but most of it is just like getting prepared in the after party and talking. Like because then it's just then I would actually watch that because
I probably would too.
It's like you get to see your friends, you get to see you know what you were like at that point in time, and then but the polished ceremony
like don't rehearse stuff.
Don't give a damn about.
Yeah,
That's nothing to me. But the behind the scenes, seeing that has value. The wedding pictures are all staged and it's valueless because it's like, all right, here's me standing by some sculpture in downtown Miami with my wife and it's like, all right. Like I'd rather see me hanging out with my friends.
Do you know what I have the what do you think you have the most pictures of you with on your phone?
What do you mean you with?
You and
a person?
Or you at a certain place. Like you and look, what picture do you think you have the most of on your phone? Tommy or Max? The winner's the one you love the most.
Oh yeah, I don't hear. They're always together. So
the number one picture on my phone. Here's a fun fact. It's me hugging around the waist the novelty fiberglass crawfish from Dixie Crossroads. That is the number one picture I have on my phone.
I like that. Who eats crawfish? Gross.
It is gross.
Although
it's
shrimp are pretty close.
3 steps lower than shrimp is crawfish. It's 3 steps lower.
Yeah. But maybe it's just because we're used to shrimp. It's the same.
I think crawfish are like crack shrimp.
You know what? If I say crawfish are gross,
craw shrimp,
I have to logically come to the terms that shrimp are just as gross.
They're slightly better, but not a lot.
That's only because you eat shrimp, right?
To pull their legs off.
I really don't eat shrimp that much.
But you have.
I have.
Have you even ever eaten crawfish?
I have.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I hated every second of it.
Okay. Now, crawfish are bigger and more defined, which makes them a little grosser.
Yes.
The shrimp are a little more simple, and maybe that's more palatable for
I
us.
like a simple crawfish called a shrimp.
Because
I'm just a simple crawfish. They call me Shrimp Danny.
Because if you had
I'm a man of simple pleasures.
If you had to eat the face of a lobster, I feel like not that many people would eat it.
If it were like the size of my head, I'd looking into it.
Well, no, I'm just saying the structure of the face of the lobster is way grosser than just its tail.
Well,
right?
I don't look into Optimus Prime's face before I give him a proctology visit.
Like it has long.
That means nothing, by the way.
Stick eyeballs and antenna and weirdo claw things. You know, like,
things I don't even know what they are.
You had to crunch its face off. Like way less people would eat it. The tail. You know, because
the tail's only under the exoskeleton, right?
Yeah. You're just eating like the meat. Anyway, we got.
You know what? I'm going to give you a solid 4. I'm going to give you a solid 4. I think I'm going to give you this one right. I saved the Instagram one in case you want to like use forensics on it to try and track. I'm going to go. You got time for Mike B? Or do
yeah.
You know, you guys are talking about automated cars, and you know what? I honestly can't wait for it because then my anxiety about going to events is almost gone. Because if I can have a couple drinks in my automated car on the way over to the event or over to like a work meeting or like
a work meeting,
any sort of like funeral or important event, I can
Wait
have
a
a
minute.
couple drinks before I get there, so I'm calm as fuck.
How?
When I get there, I can't wait for automated cars.
Hold on. Well, what's
I
the
love
difference
you.
between
we
that
love you.
automated car and an Uber? Is that you don't want to drink?
Technically, you can't drink in the Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, it's
unless
also,
they're cool, bro.
It's also embarrassing for people to see you that way. And the automated car, I don't think would judge your and like how level you are drunk, right?
Wait a minute. If you can't wait for this to happen because this is going to change your life, like couldn't you just mix a drink or spike your soda before you got in the
put
car?
it in your Yeti.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, and then it would be the exact same thing. And then your dream is true, or comes true, right?
I think he does that anyway, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So what's it, like only because you want to have the actual Bud Light in your hand in the automated car?
Well, you can do that in a limo, right?
Yeah,
That's the only car I know of
but
that you
like
can drink it.
in an
Party
Uber,
bus.
just put it in a different cup. You could bring your own drink in an Uber, and you could drink alcohol all you want in an Uber. You just, and some Uber drivers probably don't care.
Right.
Maybe the majority do, but it's like
They
just
might right now during a pandemic, but
well, you put it in a cup, like and hide it, just like you're walking down the street.
but I don't know if they want you consuming things within the.
Well, if you have like
car,
a
I don't
water
know.
bottle, I mean, if you really need your booze to go to
They
the
don't have-
funeral,
yeah.
you put your vodka in the metal water bottle.
I've taken a lot of Ubers during this pandemic. No one cares.
right?
Like I wear a mask and they wear a mask, but if I wanted to have my drink, they don't care if I'm pulling my mask down and drinking.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you done that?
Yeah, I brought a Diet Coke in an Uber, and
Yeah.
I was drinking my Diet Coke, and they didn't give it.
In the one I took, I had a bottle of water, so yeah. But I guess it could be case by case, right?
Yeah.
I guess you could have somebody that'd be like,
I'm sure, dude.
but then you probably wouldn't be driving Uber because you're around people all the time.
Yeah, rarely. Yeah, these Uber drivers are.
now some of them have the plexiglass in between.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I haven't been in one yet, but
I've been in a couple.
I did see some guys, and there's some companies that
and
are
some of
like,
them will keep their windows down.
some people are selling products now to Uber. Okay, there are companies now that specialize in making like things like that you like. It's a brilliant idea. If I'd have like thought of it, if you could make like a very easy partition that goes in the back to make your car like
a taxi.
Yeah,
but then, aren't we regressing back to what we hated about
Yes.
the taxi service?
Yes, we are.
Which is some guy.
well, there was the price is all I hated about it.
Right.
Really, a taxi's a taxi, and,
Well-
and Uber's gross too. But I'm just saying.
Well, you get into a car that's like a public transit gross, and then with a inch thick bulletproof glass, so you don't murder your driver because that's a. Then you realize you're like, what town am I in? Like this guy's worried about getting killed, and then it's like, all right, and then it's $87. Then you're like, we're gonna regress back to there, right? It's
Yeah.
all gonna go back to.
I mean, looking that way. One more.
Hey gang, it's Canadian Josh. I have a question, more specifically towards Tom, because you have 2 boys. My boys are at the age now where it is time to buy dirt bikes. I am looking at them, just about to pull the trigger on it. Tom, when your boys get to that age, how do you feel about motorized vehicles? Safety concerns? Any pushback from your wife? What are your thoughts? I'll hang up and listen. Love you guys. BDM for life.
That's like a loaded question, right?
Well,
They already have 4-wheelers.
yes,
right?
and
he's there.
And so, and the way I pulled that off, and it was a struggle because my wife has a less of a risk tolerance than I do, and she's way more like cautious than I am, is I had to start very young and slow And so by the time I got them the Polaris 50 four-wheelers, which, I mean, they could rocket into a tree and hurt themselves.
Yeah,
like
it's still
it'll
a
go
motorized
fast.
vehicle.
Yeah. Like they could seriously hurt themselves on it. But they're good enough because I started young. If you just have some random 7 and 8-year-old and they've never ridden dirt bikes their entire life, and then you want to buy them an 80cc Kawasaki dirt bike, I can understand then your wife or your spouse saying they're going to hurt themselves because they have no experience on them.
I saw that. Even with a little bit of experience, we have a very good friend who I saw. He bought his son a couple of years ago. He bought his son a dirt bike. He put him on the dirt bike. I mean, in the first video.
Oh, Justin, yeah. He'll talk about that.
He throws the throttle and rides it right into a fence, and it was awesome. But that stuff happens more often than not. In fact, most of the time when I've ever had somebody I know that's never ridden a motorized vehicle before, especially two wheels, it's usually a lady, it's usually a party. They put them on like a moped or a scooter or something like that. They always dump the throttle, wheelie it right into a tree or into a fence. It happens more than it doesn't, right?
As long as you stay off roads, like that's where people die. Like the kids, and that's sad. Is like kids will ride their dirt bikes in the street and stuff, and they get hit by cars. Like
Don't do that.
Happens all the time in Miami and stuff.
Go to where you should be riding it.
Yeah.
Don't go around other cars. You'll get hurt.
You go off road in a designated area with a helmet and all the gear. Really the helmet's most important, and then make sure the thing has a governor so they can't. You really, with dirt bikes especially, the throttle's different. Like it's a twist throttle. So what happens to everybody when they panic, they accidentally twist the throttle back, which causes them to freeze in a full speed scenario, and then they'll rocket into something or get bucked off the front.
I love the whippy front wheel wheelie. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But it's fine. It all matters about their experience level. Like there's some kid that's 6 years old that I saw on Facebook that is literally jumping triple jump. Like it's insane. Yeah. I mean, he is and like jumping 45 feet and landing a triple. You're like, oh my God, this kid is Tommy's age. And because he's been riding since he was in diapers.
Yeah, there's a little girl influencer that's on Instagram who's a skateboarder, right?
Yeah.
And I've been following her since I want to say she was like maybe 3. And or maybe a little older than that. Let's say maybe 4 or 5. Maybe Maisie's age or Tommy's age. And now she's like 12. And there's a video of her getting on the mega ramp and Tony Hawk's talking her through it.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with my wife when I was watching this little girl named Sky. I remember watching her skate. I remember mentioning to my wife, I was like, this girl's so good. Pretty soon, she's going to end up working her way up into like being like a professional skateboarder, and damned if she didn't do it. It's her and Tony Hawk on the mega ramp, and he's like, oh, you got to commit to it, and once you're like, he's like kind of walking her through it. Sure enough, she goes all in on the mega ramp, boom, all the way down. She starts jumping. It's like, it's just weird to see influencers or people that you knew of that started in this new media form, at least new to us, and then like you see them grow and become things. It's very odd.
But also that girl's dad's a skateboarder. She's had ramps in her backyard. She's been doing it all life. It's all the same. Like if you do something all your life, you'll
know how to do it.
Bye-bye.